hello, and welcome back to the Liminal Branch Library, the archive in the seams. I'm your Archivist and Librarian, Mordio Crow, and I am once again joined by our fantastic cast of woodland critters, Amasha playing Ember, Hambone playing Milo, and Nova playing Miffy. Hello, everyone.
Woo!
Hello!
We're back, and we're still in prison. Now, to jump sort of right into it, last time we met our Vagabonds here in prison for crimes they're not entirely sure what crimes were committed or why they're being imprisoned specifically. As best as they can tell, they were caught up in a general sweep for anti-Eerie sentiment and are being, not just them, but all of the prisoners are being examined one by one to determine if that was actually accurate or not. As slowly prisoners are being taken out of this section of the mines and sent elsewhere for trial, they don't come back, so you're assuming they're either put into other sections of the prison, executed, or released. Now, what would befall your fate if you were to reach trial is unclear. However, you are currently in the possession of the keys to your own cells, and you are biding your time until you're able to make an escape attempt. Now, you of course know that you're only going to get one shot at it, so you're trying to leverage what potential allies you might have, what resources, limited as they may be, are available within the prison, so that your escape attempt can be the most likely to succeed as it can. I believe we talked to a couple of the different people here. If you need reminders about specific NPCs, feel free to ask me as we go. But we had a couple loose plans forming, right? Either trying to fake the spoilage of some of the food to get all the prisoners nice and well fed for an eventual escape, to potentially repairing a Marquesiate tunneling clockwork golem to divert this river and flood part of the prison, to potentially working with this former noble disgraced noble who's been cast down here, who may know some secret passages once you get a little bit higher up. You got plenty of options up ahead of you. You just got to figure out which ones or how they might combine. And so I'll pause here. Do you all have any questions or recaps before we get into the next day of your imprisonment?
I want to confirm or reconfirm that the noble you've been talking to, the sort of deal he would like from us or is proposing is we get him on the lift, and once he gets up there, he'll tell us a way to get out.
Yep.
Is that correct?
Yes, he knows the secret passages up above. So if you can get him up the lift to the upper levels of the prison, he can take because really this area isn't just a prison, it's also mines. You're in a prison section of the mines, but once you go up, you're more into the mining management areas, right? So he knows secret passages. So if you can get him up there, he can lead you through those passages to basically into town, right? There's going to be one final gate that you'll need to burst through yourselves, but otherwise you'll be basically in town and able to escape from there. At least that's what he's claimed.
Interesting.
Yep. Now, of course, there's all sorts of miscellaneous information, names, which should be on all of the tokens. So if you have that available if you need it. Any other clarifying questions? Because if not, I'll get us started. All right.
Should.
So we had a full day last time of you all talking to people, coming up with plans. What we're going to start with today, as you get neumed across the map of the Ironwood Prison Mines, is the Vagabonds are separated. at the moment. In particular, Ember, you find yourself back in that room where you were getting medical treatment just 2 days prior.
Ooh.
Except for this time, you're in the room with Captain Carlo Brightwing, a bright yellow canary, pale patches on his shoulders, almost like it's like a fancy cape, but that's just his regular feathers. You've seen the captain around over the past, week or so of imprisonment. Maybe had a look or like a command given your way, but nothing like a proper conversation. You've been called here specifically, and he begins it by just, do you know why you're here, miss?
Like, in this room or in prison? Because both are a no.
There's maybe like the smallest of smiles. Just, that's what most have said. Well, I'm not the one here to convict you, so you don't need to worry about that. But I have been asked by the Eerie to present to you these and see if any of them sound familiar. Your cooperation may make things a little bit easier on you, if that's the case. Or so I've been told. And he slides...
By who?
Oh, by who? Yeah. The prison management, of course, and by extension, are the Regent of Ironroot. Let the GM remember the names. I have so many names in here. Ilyana Notos, the current acting ruler, who has urged us to expedite this process as quickly as possible. So, could you do me a favor and review these? Are any of these you? He puts 3 reports on the table, on the desk between you, and pushes them forward. The commonality between them, though they're separated by time and location, is that they all describe the activities of a fox of roughly your description. Now, the details differ from...
profiling?
The details do differ from one report to the next, and none of them is like, this is a spot-on match for you, obviously, but some of them, I don't know, they're vague enough they could be. One from Ironroot itself about 2 years ago. Someone attempting to barter a blade that the merchant recognized as made by one of his friends and believed to be stolen. When the fox was confronted, they fled, both the scene and the clearing. One from Pine Hills about 2 months ago, describing, a fox as well who claimed to know something of Marquesiate clockwork, talked themselves into a job doing some repairs, claiming that the right pine cones could quote-unquote do the trick, and one warehouse fire later, the fox had fled that clearing. And a report from Grand Hollow dated about 4 months ago. It describes the theft of high-quality linens and the mysterious appearance of a fox wearing a very fancy costume at a feast, at a masquerade feast that the upper class of the city was partaking in. A fox who rather gluttonously partook of the feast, making a bit of a scene, and when confronted by the guards, fled. The costume was shed during the fox's escape and later linked to the theft. Now,
they went streaking? No.
Ember, I'm not telling you that these are you. I'll leave that up to you if any of them are or not, but these seem to be the crimes that the Eerie is potentially, I don't want to say pinning on you, but you're being held under consideration for. The captain watches as Ember reviews them and says, "From the recent trials, confessions have received lighter sentences. So if these look familiar, I'd advise you to make things easier for all of us."
Where were these again? One was in Iron Root.
One was in Iron Root, one was in Pine Hills, and one was in Grand Hollow. So if we switch back to the main map just briefly, this little bottom right triangle of eerie settlements. Important to note is that the Iron Root report is several years old, whereas the other ones are within the recent months. And the Iron Root one is, of course, old because the Marquisiate controlled the clearing for some time. So.
Well, honestly, I don't even remember the last time I was in Pine Hills. I don't think that. No, I don't even think I was in the area during that time. And these, don't take this the wrong way, but these may sound like one of my siblings. I haven't talked to them in a long time. We kind of do our own thing, but I could see it. And they travel a lot.
So you're claiming a family resemblance, and there's like a little bit of a huff of laughter, not necessarily of disbelief, but because it's kind of funny to be able to say this in the moment, right? The captain's worse, like, it's funny as come up. So sort of, you're claiming an evil twin, as it were.
I wouldn't say evil, but they definitely get up to things. For better and worse.
Well, I will pass on your pleas then. And if you're telling the truth, then I'm sure you have nothing to worry about. And unless you had anything you wanted to ask him, he will dismiss you.
I can tell you that my sibling will probably try and pin it on me if they think that I'm anywhere near anything. I'm not, but do you have siblings? You know how they are.
You know, it's funny you say that, but really, in reality, people get framed incredibly rarely, you know. But I suppose when it comes to family, well...
Family.
Well, sounds like you have quite the troublesome one. Hopefully, in this case, all of the evidence will see you cleared. And though you may have mixed feelings about it, the Eerie certainly would like to see anyone who committed these acts brought to justice.
Oh, if I see them, I will let you know. Of course, it'll be hard here, but...
Oh, well, don't worry, it won't be too much longer now.
Until...
Oh, your stay, of course. Surely you've noticed everyone's been filtering out bit by bit. I don't get the lists ahead of time, but since they're going through the trouble of asking this information of you, I'd assume your time here is almost up.
Have there been a lot of these kinds of reports?
Not everyone who gets brought up has them, but my understanding is that most of the citizens brought down here are a bit more local than you appear to be. There was no residence on file for you that they could find here in Iron Root.
Oh no, I'm further west.
Yeah, so perhaps the special treatment that you're receiving here is because of that. The others we have a bit more local history to draw upon.
Thank you for asking me, though, because a lot of people will just assume because I'm a fox, anybody who describes a fox, it's gotta be me. When there are other people, you know?
At that does seem to get, to get him nodding. It's true. I cannot tell you how many people have asked if I am in fact the father of all the canaries. No, we're just canaries and I happen to be slightly bigger. So I completely understand.
Big girl with a huge head and a lateral lisp.
Well, best of luck to you. And we hope you've enjoyed your stay. Oh, yes, and by the way, as your injury, I saw the report of your injury the other day. The company has decided to not charge you for the medical supplies that were given you. So,
Aw.
Oh, good. I really, really appreciate that, especially since, I don't really have anything while I'm here. And it'd be really difficult to repay the kindness, even though it happened while I was here. But anyway, thank you.
Yeah. It's like, oh, thank you so much for not charging me for something that happened under your watch when I'm at your mercy. Thank you.
Yes.
Yeah.
Just when you brought up the fact that there was a report of a fox stealing linens, I thought for sure you were going to say, and then pretending to be a ghost and scaring people. I was so hoping for that. But the dinner party crashing is also very good.
All right. And so with that done, then Ember, you're dismissed. And as you leave, you get one more good look at the desk, which has all of that fine quality wood that could potentially be used to make the gears needed for that clockwork. But you get sent not back to your cell immediately, but you get sent off to go work. And then Milo's turn comes next. A similar scene plays out. The same captain, the same question. Do you know why you're here?
Well, when I asked one of the, hold on, I got Milo up real quick. Give me a second. Gotta clear my thorax.
Gotta summon him.
Now, when I asked some of your, compatriots over here, they were said it's simply a holding sort of procedure, or kenneling, if you will. I'll be out of here in no time, and well, it seems like it's been some time. If you want to clarify what the terms are of my internment, I'd be happy to listen.
Well, I can't offer you clarity, but I can offer you perhaps a foggy day, a cloudy sky. The Eerie has suspicion of your involvement with some activity against it, and shortly you will be brought to trial for it, where they will determine exactly whether or not you were involved. They've asked me to present you with the cases and to advise you that admissions of guilt will be treated with a gentler hand than those who attempt to conceal any criminal wrongdoing.
Hey, Tommy.
The same thing, 3 reports. One from Grand Hollow a few months ago. It describes not a person, but instead just a catchy tune that caught on about a certain Sir Harold Hoslow, lesser Eerie noble and moderately successful merchant. The tune itself, however, was less than flattering. It mocked his alleged eye for quality by drawing attention to numerous bad trades he had made, comparing him to a dragon hoarding fool's gold, among other insults. So, a noble who took offense and reported this, and they appears to be looking out for whoever wrote it. A similar report from Pine Hills, describing a rather earwormy tune that could be produced solely by the scraping of pine cones. The tune has little in the way of lyrics, but it does have a catchy refrain spoken, which the report complains was often used to mock both the town for being boring and its leadership for being ineffective. There's also a report from Featherflight, a little bit longer ago than the other two, which describes a song told the tale of a bird and an otter who through trickery caused grudges amongst some mouse families and used that grown hatred to exploit them for their own profit. Though the names were different, the characters were clear allegories for a company merchant and Erie noble who were embarrassed and relocated after the incident and may have lost some property due to riots.
Someone wrote a pop song about Yojimbo, the plot of Yojimbo.
It doesn't say what genre of song, but there you go. You know, roughly. In your case, they are all, none of them mention a specific individual, but they do all mention music as the common theme. Music that was used to mock or otherwise inconvenience the Erie. And much like with Ember, I'm not saying as a GM that any of these have to be Milo, but certainly if you feel that any of them are, you're welcome to claim them, or you can deny them, or even if they are yours, you're still feel free to deny them. But these are what Milo's presented with.
Okay. So they want like my explanation.
They want
admission of guilt.
Yes, basically he's saying that if you admit you're guilty of these, the Erie will take it easier on you. Now, what that means is entirely unclear, right? And also, this guy's technically not even part of the Erie. This is like a hired mercenary to, you know, fill up their ranks after a bloody battle to retake the clearing, you know? So, like, even this guy might not know one way or the other, like what punishments are in store, but it's been asked to see if he can get you to admit to one, and just to advise you that if you admit to it, it makes everyone's life easier. It makes the Erie's life easier because they don't need to try you. They can just sentence you. It makes your life easier because your sentence will be better. From what to what? I don't know.
Interesting. Can I do a roll?
Depends. What is it that you want to do?
I want to figure him out.
Oh, sure. Yeah, you have this moment here of a extended conversation. So I'd say that's enough time to, as you're reading them, maybe go back and forth a little, observe like body language, etc. So yeah, go for it.
Okay.
Strong hit. You get 3 questions.
Okay. You bring this up, and I mean, I don't know what kind of judge you'd bring us out to, a lenient one, a hanging one, but why exactly us? You've been bringing anyone else in here to see what you can, kind of dirt you can dig on them? What's the angle of this? I want to ask, what is this character really feeling? Or what do they intend to do if we cooperate?
So you ask the question, and the overt response is rather similar to what was said to Ember, but you can pick up at least a little bit further, right? So he basically says this like, well, the Erie's swamped up above, and it needs to make sure that there's no enemies of the dynasties still lurking in the clearing. So anything to expedite that, given their thin ranks, would let them focus on defending the clearing from external threats all the more swiftly. Now, what does this character intend to do? I think what you're sensing from him specifically is that he has a little bit of, I don't know if impatience is the right word, but he's already sort of done with this assignment mentally, right? Like, he's been paid to do this, and it's been almost a week, and they're maybe halfway through the prisoners. He wants to move on. Like, this isn't the kind of thing that he wants his mercenaries doing, right? Like, being on guard duty. Like, he's doing it because it's paying, and it's getting him in the good graces of places. So basically, if you admit to stuff, he's going to do his job with the intent of speeding up the process, right? Because he wants to move on. So his intentions are get the job done swiftly, right?
Okay. It seems to me like you're just finding any old reason to get people out of here, get them, let's say, to justice, but, if they just... You a fisherman by chance?
Crosses his bright wings, looks at you closely. No, I can't say I particularly am.
Well, I guess you've never heard of the term catch and release, Just because you catch a little small fry doesn't mean you gotta put them in the bucket. Sometimes you can just let them back go. Now, I keep my feelers clean. What can I do to get myself back in the lake instead of this dank old bucket? And I want to use a hold to ask, how do I get out of here without going to trial? Just leave. How can I get them to let me go?
At that, he sort of leaned back in his chair. You ask a lot, Songbug, to just go up to the warden, as middleman as I am, just ask how to get on out of here. Not a lot of ways to get out. But I heard that you put on quite the performance the other day. And I'll admit, my mercenaries have been getting awful bored down here in the dark, away from the sun, patrolling these halls. Seems that you were able to provide some entertainment, lighten the mood.
I've been known to do so. Pride myself on it.
There's some... Oh yeah, sorry, you can continue.
I mean, some people consider the arts a bit of form of community service. If I were to give some performances, would you consider that service dealt with and my dirty laundry cleaned? Catch my drift?
Now, I don't have the authority to clear any pressing charges for you. What I could maybe do is, if you're looking for a place to put your talents to use, I think our mercenaries could use someone to rally their spirits in times of trouble, to encourage them before battle, and not most importantly, but certainly still importantly, sing their praises upon their success. Perhaps the songbug could become a canary. TM, not the bird. And that is his answer to like cut through the fluff dialogue, right? Is like, I saw that you provided a service. I see the value in that service. Work for me, and I can pull some strings to get you out of here. But that's sign a contract with me, and I can do that. But
okay. So this gig you're proposing, it's simply to be a bit of a canary, and I lean and I go, it ain't about being a stool pigeon, is it? TM, TM, TM.
No, it's It is as I say, I am a man of the sword, yes, but also a man of business. And I can recognize the effects that morale has on my workers, on my mercenaries.
I want to use my last hold and ask, is this character telling the truth? If I do this for them, do I think it's going to be a good chance they will let me go?
I think that this one doesn't require more dialogue, right? Like you're looking at. You think that if you do this for them, he feels confident that he can pull the strings to basically be along lines of, we vetted this guy. It's a musician. We're hiring him. You don't need to put him on trial. Like he's one of us now. So you're not going to put him on trial. Now, there's a bit of like, you can sense from like his personality, there is a little bit of like bravado confidence in that he thinks that if he gives that to the Eerie, they'll listen. He doesn't seem like the grossly overconfident type. So he might be correct that he has enough sway to get one prisoner. Could also be due to the fact that of the things he just presented you, you're not describing them anywhere, only music, right? So it's pretty thin cases that they've got there, so maybe that's contributing to it. But you think that, yes, he actually does see the value in having a mercenary musician to be the PR department and also to like rally the troops, right? So he sees the value in that, and he would do his best to follow through on his promise. But of course, that comes with the caveat that that's for you, the one with the marketable skill, not for anyone else.
Yeah. Let's see here.
Yeah. If you have anything else we can discuss, but otherwise we'll move on.
I'll move on for now.
All right. So, same thing. You get sent off to go to your shift in the mines. And Miffy...
I get to go on the mine slide. Whee!
Woo! And then Miffy, over here, you are not brought to the captain's office.
What?
Instead, the other captain, the Otter, approaches you while you're in the cell.
Oh, because otters are company.
Yeah, I mean, technically speaking, all of these canaries are company. But yes.
Company.
Yes, that one. Noemi Aluvi leans close to Miffy's cell as you're imprisoned there. Something's been bothering me. Have we met before? Your face is familiar, but I don't think we've worked together or fought one another. How would Miffy...
My eyes...
Yeah.
My eyes, like... I guess I would, I guess I would know that, like, that's what he's implying. Actually, I do have a general question about the company.
Mm-hmm.
How is it structured per se? Like,
it's
because I'm hired out, right? But is it possible that, like, just seeing me go in and out of the company building or something like that?
So company's pretty wide and relatively flat, actually. Like, it's less like this big pyramid with a CEO on top, and more like a merchant union, right? So people with the title of captain, like Captain Noemi here or Captain Carlo, they're generally like, they're company employees, right? Like they're the company merchants. Now what they might sell is different, Like some company merchants will specialize in providing mercenary services, others specialize in supplies, others are a bit more general and will dabble in different things, right? But captain is generally like you're a merchant, you have voting rights within the company. How many depends on your wealth, right? So like but like there's not a lot of like higher ranks than that, right? It's like you're a captain, but some captains just have more power by virtue of having more money, right? So you, Miffy, probably would not have been a captain. You might have been like a captain's, first mate, I suppose. Yeah, you're right. Someone's someone's right hand, right? So you probably were never a captain. You were someone's employee. Now the company does tend to be like, I don't want to say there's a ton of them because there's not like they're a huge presence here, but there's a good number of captains roaming around because, like I just said, it just means that you're a company merchant, right? Like you can be a captain.
I get it.
Things.
Yeah. All right.
Yeah.
Well, I immediately like think of him like he's part of the company. He's my enemy, but I'm in prison right now, so I like my eyes start to really like flash red, and I'm up against the bars, like death gripping them. And saying, thought you might see me around, huh? Well, I've been in here for a couple of days, so maybe you saw me because I've been stuck here. Unless you have something more Titan's grip specific in mind.
She leans in closer at that response. Not very helpful then, are you? Maybe you were a small-time merc then, muscle for a local merchant, someone we trampled? Someone with a grudge? You look like the type that holds a grudge.
Ooh, me?
Oh no.
I don't know what you're talking about.
Shame that. I was curious if you were unrecognized talent. Seems to me like you might be more of an unrecognized liability.
And you look like someone who should mind their own business. Unless you're getting me out of here, I suggest you move on.
I'll move on. But do know that for the duration of this contract, minding the prisoners is my business. And then she'll move on, and you'll get sent to the mines.
Oh.
Called it a mine.
All right, players, I turn it back over to you. What is it that you want to do today? Now, I will suggest/clarify that Ember and Milo being shown those documents, your time may be almost up in terms of you might be down to 1 or 2 days left. So, any moves you want to make, you're getting close to running out of time for them. So, keep that pressure.
Okay. Right now we're in the mines. We're together.
Yeah. I mean, you guys can we can skip around too. You don't have to like explicitly play out what you want to do in the mines, but you guys are now reunited and able to do what it is you want to do.
I saw you guys got sent to the warden, huh? What do they want?
Yeah, we got sent to the principal. They're just trying to, pin some hobnob and flander at us.
I'm pretty sure my sibling has been bothering people. Posing as me, of course, because wouldn't.
Just to, trying to pin it on those live birthers. No offense.
Of course they were trying to pin it on you guys. Well, I hope you were wise and kept your mouths shut.
My mandibles were sealed.
I would never admit anything, especially if I didn't do it.
Good.
Although, talking to the captain, he seemed keen on accepting a deal from me. Maybe if I were to play the little song and dance with him, he'd set me free.
I mean, all of the canaries seem pretty tired of things around here. They're like really just, doing it for money, and I don't know how long they're gonna keep paying them.
It appears even these cage birds don't want to sing.
True. Oh,
Well,
I was going to tell Kylie about some wood that I saw. I can't get it, but he could convince.
I saw the coolest wood. It would have been so great if I could have.
Ah, yeah. I don't know if that will help, but maybe if enough people get annoying about it.
you know a lot about annoying Ember. Why don't you?
I do.
Why don't you lead the charge on that one?
Miffy, what have I talked to you about waiting for your turn to talk?
It's a compliment.
All right then. I'll allow it. Well,
All right.
seems we have several avenues open, but we don't know how far they lead.
I don't know that we have much longer though, because with those papers, at least I was given some papers, seems like they might be moving things along.
But what if we get out like that? What do we get from it? Freedom, but
Yeah,
Not
freedom.
Not being in
Sounds
prison
good.
sounds nice.
Sounds pretty freaking good.
I huddle them, like team huddle around them. But we got some resources we could salvage from our current situation. Could put us in more of a better standing among our peers if we were to take it out with us.
Which ones?
Well,
There's a lot.
we got some blades. We got some supplies from the commissary and the armory.
Oh,
I turn an antenna and point it towards the the marquee engineer, to Gillian. We could have a valuable ally in the marquee if we were to take with us a political prisoner back to them.
To who? Which way are we going here?
Just wherever we can. Just gotta keep your feelers in the wind. Feel which way they're blowing.
Yeah,
I like that you're thinking long term, but we really gotta think short term here. What are we doing right now? I say, Ember thinks that she can get some wood to this guy, so let's get that moving. I'll go with you, Ember. We can be annoying together.
Yay!
Oh,
this is gonna be fun.
Let's walk up towards Killian, and I guess the canary is also there.
Two-tone.
Two-tone, and I guess there's some guard kind of like sitting around. Wow, Ember! So you were saying you saw a really fancy desk at the warden's office?
Oh yes, it was such nice wood. Oh, Kylian! You would know more about this.
Is it Kylian or Killian?
Killian?
I was. I don't know.
Your
I
character.
think I said Killian last time, but I
Oh,
don't
okay.
actually remember.
No,
So I don't remember.
I heard Gillian, but it could be Kyle Alien for all we know.
I believe I said Killian, but when other people
probably
pronounced
did.
it differently, I was like, did I say it that way? I might have said it that way. So.
I say
know.
things with confidence, whether or not they are true. That's the key.
That's the key.
Yeah, maybe we just remember wrong. So, like, Kylian! That is your name, right? Wow, you were looking for wood. That's a coincidence.
He like looks up from where he's cleaned out the smoke from the day before and is currently like taking measurements, seeing what he can do with what he's got. I was like, a coincidence? Didn't you say that you were going to keep an eye out for wood? That doesn't sound like a coincidence for me. That sounds like intentional search for something that you said you were going to do. But you found some. That's good.
Yes. Also, I haven't seen it personally, but I have heard that there's some similar wood upstairs being used for some documents or whatever that they probably don't need.
Let's see, you mentioned the warden's office, right? Like earlier on in the... he asked you to describe it, which I assume Ember and Miffy, or Ember does
absolutely.
at least. Yeah, okay. And the cat, like, with his fuzzy paws, like, thinking, rubbing them together, he's like, well, it sounds like that could be the right material, or at least sturdy enough. I'm not familiar with every type of lumber out there, but do you think that this warden could be convinced to part with this desk? And at that, the canary, who's been close, just like, again, acting sort of as the assistant and or like, learning about the clockwork, would mention, oh, if that's the captain's desk you're talking about, I don't think he'd want to part with it easily. He was given that as a gift by a company merchant when he saved him. So it's like, yeah, it's part of what really inspired him to join the company. He's really fond of it. I don't know if he'd want to give that up.
Wow, a gift, huh? That means it means a real lot to him. So it would mean even more if he gave it up for the good of his fellow company, huh? For this place, for the Eyrie, they sure would love the great sacrifice. He'd be a great leader if he gave that up, huh? Is what you're saying?
That's Miffy's shoulder.
Miffy, who is the target audience of your words? I just need to know.
I'm saying it to everybody who will listen. So the Eyrie guards, it sure means a lot to him. So it would be really great for the Eyrie. They would he'd probably be seen as a great leader if he gave that up, because it's his job.
His job.
Okay, let's see. Is this a?
Yeah, is this like a convincing thing, or I don't know. I'm just like, hey, everybody, we all agree that he should give it up, right? Because they want this machine fixed. That only makes sense, doesn't it?
I think that the guards listening in on pretty much every conversation that's happening here will hear it, and they'll seem intrigued. I'm trying to think if you, like, do I make you make persuade an NPC, right? Because it's when you persuade an NPC with promises or threats. I don't know if you're necessarily promising or threatening anything.
Exactly.
You're more just like throwing this out into the ether and hoping that they're going to take the bait, right?
Yeah. Ember picks up on this and is like, I mean, things would go a lot faster here if you had the right materials, right?
Oh yeah, I nod in agreement. She's right.
They certainly would. And at that, the cat slightly raises his voice too. But I don't know if any of us prisoners have the authority to commandeer such a thing. It would probably fall to those who own the mines to make that decision. So I think even though it's you guys aren't necessarily like persuading the guards directly, but I do think I'm leaning towards wanting a roll because I think it makes some sense, right? It's like you're indirectly promising that if the birds go and commandeer this desk, they will get what they want, which is a functional clockwork, right?
I mean, so
but just
to like it be luck. Then
I think persuade still makes sense, and one of you can roll charm. But this could also be an opportunity to use help if you wanted to work together, since you are, since you are both doing the speaking. Now, you don't need to help one another until the roll's been made. The way it works, there's a help or interfere move on your character sheet that you can open up if you want to read it yourselves. But basically, you mark exhaustion on your character to give someone else a +1 or a -2 to their roll. But you let them roll first, and then you only help them if your +1 would make a difference, basically, right? So, like, if they roll a 9 and you can give them a 10, then you can mark exhaustion to give them a +1. If they roll a 6 and you can make it a 7, then you can mark exhaustion. But otherwise, you don't do it because why spend exhaustion and gain nothing? Right?
Can multiple people help?
Multiple people can help if they mark exhaustion.
What about Killian? He's helping.
He does actually have his own stat block with his own levels of exhaustion. So yes, he can help as well. So I think that looking at your character sheets, Ember has the highest charm.
Yes.
So
Yeah,
Ember
she should
can roll,
definitely do it.
and then depending on the outcome, potentially get +1 or +2 from.
Yeah.
So roll persuade NPC charm.
Yeah. Yep.
Oof.
Oh
no!
Ooh, well, if we plus it, will it just be a strong?
Yeah. So if one person pluses it, it'll be a weak hit, which means that you'll partially convince them, but you'll need to do something more to sway them, and it's my job to figure out what that is exactly, right?
Usually, I'm better at the.
Right. So
I think it should be Miffy to mark the exhaustion.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I would err on the side of the player to do that.
Of course.
Yeah. So if you mark that exhaustion.
Oh,
Like
oops, that was not
my
how I-
reasoning would be, like, if we need to like charm someone or convince them, it would be charm and cunning, and that would be more my side than Miffy's.
Mhm.
Oh yeah, and then I was actively trying to do that. So yep, makes sense.
Yeah. And so the guards will come over, and as you're saying this, like they'll one of them will come over to you. I think you in particular, Ember, since you've been partially leading it. And what qualifies you exactly to speak to the quality of this lumber?
Oh, well, that's why I came over here, because Kylian here is the expert that I would, get advice from. But I noticed it looked a lot nicer than, say, the stuff we're sitting on in the cafeteria,
Let's see, give me a second. I think they're generally skeptical of... like, the sense you get is that they're skeptical of the fact that you came here, heard what he needed, because they heard you have that conversation yesterday, and you come back with, hey, I found exactly what you need. It just requires disrespecting someone in a position of authority. It's just like, oh, and the guards are like, well, isn't that convenient for the prisoner, right? Like, that's sort of their attitude, that they feel like you might be either doing this out of, like, if you are telling the truth, you're doing it out of spite, and if you're not telling the truth, you're specifically trying to cause friction between the guards and the mercenary, right?
Oof.
So,
a real skeptic, I see.
so they're skeptical, but they're not like outright. They're not outright they're not outright saying that you're lying, right? And I think what you need to do to convince them is give them you probably have to give them either like an earnest explanation of why you're so invested in getting this working, which I don't know if there is such an earnest explanation from Ember. I don't know if that's there. Or you would otherwise need to... I don't know, maybe they would want you to prove that it would work, but they can't expect you to have the lumber. If you guys have any extra ideas of how you might push this skepticism into...
I do.
Oh, Miffy.
I do. Yeah.
Let's hear.
I mean, you don't have to believe Ember. You have to believe Killian, huh? Right? Is it a
He.
what's the pronouns? He. He's the one who can tell you if it's gonna work or not. He's the expert. Show him this drawer, and he'll be and he'll determine if it's worthy or not.
Oh, that's okay. That's a pretty good argument. It's like, just take the cat.
Yeah.
At that, the cat sort of, like, straightens up a little bit. Like, well, as I said, I'm not an expert in all forms of lumber, but I at least know the properties I need to look for. If you would be so kind as to escort me. And the guards, after a brief moment of looking between each other, will concur. And they'll gesture, beckon for the cat to follow, and then beckon to the mercenaries. Keep an eye on the rest of them. We'll be back. And these ones will go wander off to go investigate down in the prison. But you get the sense that's probably going to take a little bit of time, so is there anything else you guys want to do while you wait for the results? Or do you want to just hang out around here for a while?
Chat with Two-Tone, maybe?
Oh yeah,
sure.
what was the deal with the two-tone one again? What did they do anything significant?
Two-Tone is thus named because they are split down the middle, completely red on one side, completely yellow on the other. So their significant thing is that they seem to be trying to learn from Champenois as he does his repairs. Like, Two-Tone's here, like, repeating the things he says, takes notes, generally, like, I'm learning, right? Like, that kind of...
Oh, takes notes, huh? Oh,
They're
I
literate.
see. Wait, what?
They're literate.
Literate.
They're illiterate.
Right.
Oh.
No, they are literate.
Wait, who are you talking about? Your character?
I was talking about
Bard.
Two-Tone.
Oh,
Two-Tone
okay,
is
okay,
literate
okay.
because they're taking notes.
Yeah.
Yeah, but yes, did you have something you wanted to say or ask of Two-Tone? Kula Two-Tone?
Well, it seems like Ember wants to talk to them.
Yeah!
While she's talking to them, I'd like to sneak a peek or steal their notes.
Ooh.
Okay. Let's see, what's a good... I think if you want to sneak a peek, you have the roguish feat to sneak. So perhaps sneaking a peek is up your alley.
All right.
So that is attempt a roguish feat.
Yeah.
First feet! Woo!
Yeah.
Feet. Come on, chat. Feet.
Wee kid. All right.
All right.
This is fine. It's fine.
All right, so let's have a little bit of... If Ember, if you have specific things you want to talk about, let's have a little bit of that, and then I'll describe Miffy's peering. But if you don't have... Yeah.
I do.
Okay.
So... Really, I can't... Kula?
Yeah, Kula.
Cool. Hey, Kula! So, you've been taking notes and helping out over here. Are you, like, is this just for fun? Or is this an assignment? Or... I'm just curious. You seem really invested.
Well, I mean, it's not every day that you get to see one of the Marquisiate clockworks up close. At least, not without it being skewered on a bunch of eerie spears, anyway. And to see it getting repaired, too? I mean... There's a handful of wrecks across this eastern part of the woodlands, but I don't know, just the idea of seeing it moving and not trying to kill me, that's kind of fun, right? And marketable skill bonus. So,
True. Very marketable, especially in this area.
That's exactly what I'm thinking, Like, one, why not learn how to make the giant pieces of wood work, right? Like, that's just cool. And two, maybe that would be good for a promotion.
Ooh.
You never know. Never know.
So, are you here just like on your own, or was this part of like, are more people looking to get in on this?
Oh well, this is my personal initiative. I asked the Captain Brightwing for permission to shadow the Marquisia prisoner, and he granted it. So.
Oh, that's so good. Also, very initiative on your part. That's great. And
There's
it
like
will
a
give you
little
a
puff of
leg
like
up.
their feathers, just like yes, praised.
That sounds really smart, especially if you're going to be going back into like outside of here with that. There's not a lot of, like you said, there's not a lot of other people look into this that aren't, not sticker. So like, good on you.
Thank you. I thought it was a great idea, and like, yeah, if we can get this tunneler working, and sure, maybe the Eerie wants to use it for some tunneling, but also, can you imagine the Canaries able to undermine any enemy fortification for the right price?
Ooh.
Already, you can see that they have already begun thinking of the taglines to advertise this,
Oh,
just-
I will absolutely prompt brainstorming that. Ember's having fun.
Yeah. So the two of you discuss marketing while Miffy leans over and peers through the notes. Miffy, are you trying to learn anything specific, or are you just like absorbing information?
Oh, I want to know how to operate this thing.
Oh.
Yeah. All right.
Oh, no.
I think that's easy enough to flip through. So you get a choice of whether you want to mark exhaustion or whether you want one of the risks to happen. So for you, the risks of the feat are. Let me click on sneak. So you either break something, draw unwanted attention, or plunge into danger. So you can mark exhaustion and then none of those things happen, or you cannot mark exhaustion and then one of them will happen.
So, because I already have one exhaustion, tell me how exhaustion gets cleared.
Yes. Okay. So exhaustion, generally speaking, you can get exhaustion back when you're generally either like resting or traveling. So if you're traveling like along a path where everything is relaxed and generally in control, for example, so like you're just going from one clearing to the next, traveling slowly, relaxed, you can get 3 exhaustion back just for going from one clearing to the other. Basically, letting your mind break and wander. I believe, I'm trying to remember if there's like a move specifically for resting in town, but both of the travel moves do give you exhaustion returned. Let me double check if there's, I'm just clicking through the other ones. I don't see one specifically for resting in a moment. So I imagine you get one, like, if time passes or you're otherwise able to, spend a few days. Oh wait, I do remember now. You get exhaustion back when you indulge in, what was it, your nature? Yes. When you
for chaos?
No, that's your drive.
Oh, okay.
So your nature.
Oh, my nature's Avenger. Okay.
So when you openly attack those who have wronged you or your sworn vassals and wards, then you get all of your exhaustion back.
Well, I would say that all of these people have wronged me. So once we go to battle...
If you openly do so, right? So like...
Oh, don't worry.
I'm always worried.
Then worry a lot.
Yeah, and actually, just to mention it now so that everyone can help me remember, one thing we missed last session was at the end of the session, we were supposed to go over your drives, and if you had achieved any of them, you would get your little advancements. But instead, we'll do that at the end of this one. We'll say that this was a 2-parter because it's looking that way. So
that's the pilot. So yeah.
Yep.
Well, and so if exhaustion is full, am I out of the... can I not do anything?
So if exhaustion is full, you cannot choose to mark more of it. and you're
Right.
basically like on the brink of, like, you're very mentally fatigued. You either have intense headache, you're very tired.
Sure, I'm exhausted.
If you take another point of exhaustion, you instead take injury.
Oh, okay.
All right.
Yeah. It's fine. I'll exhaust myself.
Yeah. And actually, I think non-lethal weaponry, if it fills up your exhaustion, then hits you again once your exhaustion's full, it knocks you out.
All right.
Is also something to keep in mind there.
Sorry, I'll just keep exhausting myself.
All right. So I think with your
That's real.
Yeah, by spending the exhaustion, you're able to peruse the notes long enough while Ember keeps you occupied, and there's no there's no Eerie guards keeping a close eye on you. There's the Canary mercenaries who are wandering and making sure people are mining, but they're not like immediately while you're looking at this book, rushing over or anything like that. You're subtle enough that you don't draw their eyes as like this one's walking back and forth across the bridge. The controls, you read the notes that Kula has on them, the different levers and all that. It looks like this tunneler is intended for a small crew, specifically
3 people? Huh? Hey.
somewhere. We'll say somewhere between 2 to 4 would be comfortable. You could probably fit 6 maximum. That would be cramped but doable. And from what you can tell, just like it only really needs one person to operate it, with the different levers and pedals. But generally speaking, from Kula's notes, it looks like it would be much easier if you had 2 people who both knew what they were doing to help and were able to work together. At least to like basically one person to drive it and the other person to operate the tunneling portions to keep you from like accidentally shoving soil and rocks underneath one of its wheels and like sending it making it bumpy and all that. So 2 people is the ideal number of operators, and you get a solid sense of like the different levers and pedals and what they do. They're all very neatly labeled. So yeah, you have that understanding, which you feel relatively confident you can explain to your allies should the need arise.
Excellent.
All right. And Ember, did you have anything else you wanted to discuss before our time passes?
We're discussing marketing campaigns.
All right. You're giving Canary Kula 2-tone marketing advice.
I sure am.
And honestly, they just seem excited that someone else thinks their idea is a good idea. So, granted, they seemed pretty excited that the captain thought their idea was a good idea. So, like, they're having a good week. Unlike all the other mercenaries who are kind of bored down here, they're having a good time. Milo, was there anything you wanted to do while this conversation was happening, or shall we let time pass?
I was actually mining, so like I was picking up the slack these 2 were leaving me, so I'm happy just to move forward.
Okay, yes, you were making sure that the group does not get in trouble for not actually working their shift this shift.
Yeah.
All right.
Seems like you could use some extra bread.
Much obliged.
All right, and so they do return sometime later, not with a whole chunk of the desk, but with a single, like it looks like the inside of one of the drawers, like they pulled the drawer out and removed like the backing of it, like that slab that's then been cut to size.
I like look at the little bit. That's like nothing.
It is a sample to ensure that I do not destroy the whole thing without making sure that it is effective. Luckily, we can test one of the...
Doesn't even have a leg on it.
That's all right. We just need this to operate one of the tunneling arms, and if it can handle that pressure, then it could handle the rest of the machine. So let's see. And with that, you'll fit the gear itself into the tunneler, and with a few deft motions of the operating arms, the tunneler will like raise up and take a claw through some of the, through the rock and the dirt and carve out a nice piece of it and then toss it off to the side. I think that means that it's going to work.
Yay!
Ember
See, I told, he like turns to the eerie guards. Like, I told you if you'd gotten me the right things to begin with, it would not have taken this long. But let's get more of that desk.
Cat. Disassemble it. Take it down.
Miffy starts wrecking it. Miffy would like to roll to wreck.
I volunteer.
And with that, the eerie guards, despite Miffy's, I don't even want to call it heckling, but Miffy, the fact that Miffy is directing them doesn't deter them, right? As they briefly discuss and then split up, with some of them going to go fetch more of the desk pieces, and it looks like some of them going to go report that the tunneler will soon be working to whoever their superiors are, which doesn't seem to be the Canaries. They do, before they depart, give the Canary mercenaries here orders to keep watch over Champenois as he does the repairs. But that does leave the miners relatively sparsely monitored. So they'll come over here, and then our eerie guard squad will head out. And with that,
let's see.
Yeah, Champenois Killian will make sure to thank Ember and Miffy both for. Well, I cannot tell you how much easier you've made my life by getting them off my back and getting some quality lumber into my hands.
Of course.
I don't know that there's much I can do to repay you, seeing as we are all prisoners here, but you have my gratitude, if nothing else.
Got any
People are cutting out. What did you say?
Any cigarettes?
Oh, any cigarettes?
How about some latrine wine?
No.
Oh, gross.
With any luck, I will have this functional within a few hours, and then maybe I'll get a proper night's sleep tonight. Instead of having nightmares about deers.
Oh, same.
Oh yeah, everyone gets those.
I try to whisper to Killian, or maybe wait until at the very end of the day to say to him, does it bother you at all that the Canaries are taking down notes of your work? Aren't you afraid of the Eerie getting a machine like this in their hands?
Mm-hmm. Yeah, if you're gonna want to ask something like that, you probably need to wait for a bit, for a particularly noisy part of construction. Maybe he's asked Kula to grab something or to cut something to once they have more wood. It has asked Kula to cut this one to this shape. So Kula's over here carving, and then he's working with the woodwork and doing some testing. So there's the sounds of the stone scraping. Yeah, you can whisper that to him under the guise of helping with some of the repair work. It's not that simple. Kula is a good student. If it weren't for these circumstances, I think I would quite enjoy having a protege. But knowing what they would use this knowledge for, I'll admit it makes me a bit uneasy.
You should have heard the marketing campaign. Imagine each one of these monstrosities, no offense, in the hands of many Eerie. It's going to happen, I just know it.
You're not wrong. There's not much else I can do about it right now.
No, not right now. But, Well, I already know how to operate this thing.
Do you now?
I like point at this lever. Well, that one controls this thing. And that one, you turn it around, and there, it does the claw move. Am I right?
Very technical.
Your vocabulary leaves some to be desired, but you're not wrong. You're not wrong. What is it that you want?
Well, there's not this machine. Well, I think it could be used by one person, but probably maybe 3 to 4 could be good. Get it running real smooth, and well, with it that smooth, we could do a lot of work here, a lot of good work. Probably not even probably even leave our prisoner status, if you catch my drift. And I don't let him answer, right? And I say, listen, things are gonna happen regardless of what you do, so don't put it in your conscience. You just keep having those gear thoughts. But if you have any prisoner wanting to escape thoughts, well, you know who to call.
Ghostbusters.
Bye-bye.
Yeah.
And I hop out and I go to Ember and ask about the marketing strategy.
You guys need a jingle for that for this new land constructor?
Oh, absolutely. Nothing spreads word like a good.
I like you simultaneously working on the marketing for the Canaries, getting this tunneler, while also Miffy's over here like, let's use it to break out, just like the Canaries. It sounds like in this scenario, the Canaries aren't getting it, but you guys are investing so much into them having it.
Well, that's because we're going to market it ourselves.
Oh,
Of course.
I see.
Yeah,
You're
we're doing a rug pull, I believe the term is.
All right, fair enough.
And that when we get to the landing with the elevator, we're gonna wait for all the guards to get up on the rug that's in front of it, and then pull it off them, and they'll trip.
All right. Well, it sounds like this thing's going to be fully operational by tonight.
Ooh.
Which, at least that's what Champenois says, and it seems to be on track. So, it seems like this might play a role in your escape. But is there anything else you would like to set up for during the rest of today, or are we moving forward?
I would like to talk. Oh, go for it.
Sorry, I was just gonna say I'd like to talk to our group to get the plan fully going, but you do your thing first.
Yeah, I would like to talk to the noble.
Oh yeah, sure. Let's go see what the gilded former Lord of Ironroot has to say. And Arrow. Arrow's there too.
Hey, Arrow.
Hello. No, yeah. All right. What is it? Yes, my inspiration-seeking bard. How may I assist you today?
Well, I've got this tune. Need a little help with. I got stirrings of it in my brain noggin. I was wondering if you can give me a little more of that inspiration you've been feeding me.
Oh, of course. Tell me, what's got you stuck? What manner of inspiration do you need? A personal victory from my own past? Perhaps more of some of Ironroot's history or the local area? I am a veritable font of culture, as I'm sure you could tell.
Well, it's about this grand, daring escape from the confines of a dank, dirty mine. You see, I'm trying to phrase this so I don't give away everything. You see, it's about a group of prisoners who make a daring escape out of their prison, and they just so happen to bring with them well-regarded and renowned noble with them. I just can't seem to find the correct lyric to get that noble to come along with them. Like I can't find the right connecting point in the story in the song.
I see. Well, you know, versatile is the noble in story, for they can ever prove a valuable font of knowledge or a charismatic voice, one which pleads for mercy on behalf of the downtrodden folk, one which grants them insights they wouldn't have without him.
I see. That's good insight you're giving me, sir. I lean in, I go, you know, there might be such an opportunity to make that song your own, if you catch my drift, coming up soon. You just want to make sure you're on board with it. And I can't get too much into the weeds, but we just want to make sure you're on board for such a daring escape.
My good musician, he says, lowering his voice. I am someone who has devoted the greater part of his life to expeditions into the wilderness. Now, you recall from yesterday that he hasn't really gone on them himself. He's more sent other people on them, many of whom have died horribly.
Yeah.
But, you know, I've devoted myself to expeditions into the wilderness. An expedition from the mines to the surface is well within my purview. And as I've said before, while these depths do elude my knowledge base, once we get a bit higher up, the passages are much more familiar to me. So I do believe that I could be of service when it comes to filling in these lyrics, of course. He says, like, raising his voice again and laughing.
Well, sir, your words have stirred the lyre strings of my heart. Pardon me, my lair strings of my heart. You know, just sleep a little light tonight. You might be surprised when inspiration strikes. And start to head off.
There's like a bit of excitement in his aspect more than anything else. Seems to, you know, understand he still can't be too overjoyed. There's a couple of mercenaries here, not too many. You're not being watched too closely, but he's, you know, can't be seen celebrating too much. Yes, I shall spend the hours reciting verses, coming up with the ideal lines for this soon-to-be written epic.
That's good to hear. Okay, so I leave and I huddle to Miffy and Ember's like, okay, we're going to take this guy with us and we're kind of going to ransom him if we get out with him, but if like he starts dragging ass, we're going to cut him like a bad habit. You got that?
Works for me.
Okay,
Who
good.
are you ransoming him to?
He's a political prisoner, and well, you know, far be it from me to say that a noble is less mechanically or worldly than an engineer. I'm just saying if his status don't bring in much clout, he's kind of worthless to us.
Well, I mean, he'll still tell us how to get through the top layer.
That's a good plus, but once we know the way out, he's basically, he's chaff, as far as I'm concerned.
Sometimes I think you're more cutthroat than me. That's why I like you.
Listen, you don't get your hands dirty to be cutthroat.
Oh, I know. Trust me.
I
All right, okay. So, the plan.
Quick thing.
We need to talk about it because I'm not 100% on it.
That's fair. That's fair. It doesn't have
So
to be
just-
acted out. I just wanted to know where the cat is staying. I assume he's in the cells with us somewhere.
Yes, he is in the cells with you guys at some. He's probably kept a little bit more. Maybe he's like in the back over here.
Oh, he's got a big one? No.
Yeah.
I thought you meant the noble. Okay.
Yeah.
I mean, we're gonna know where he is too, but you just told him to leave a light on, so that should help.
Yeah.
If we pretend that this room in the bottom left isn't a torture room and is instead a slightly bigger cell with like its own private bathroom, we'll say that's where the
What makes you say that's a torture room?
Generally the table, the piles of blood, and the instruments on the table.
Just
on the left.
Fair enough.
The ones that look like
dentist's
knives and
room.
things. Yeah.
Nah, that's one of those Tempur-Pedic beds.
Yes, that's what it is in this case. So.
Yeah, he's got his own bathroom. He's got his own
Yeah?
dentistry kit. Fine.
Yeah, to maintain his dental quality over the night.
Yeah.
Yeah.
All right.
Okay, so this is a loose plan. Please feel free to workshop it, add in your own thing, or change anything. This is just like what I imagine this night to go down like, right? We have the machine. What's it called? Voice in the sky?
It's a clockwork tunneler.
The clockwork tunneler. We have that. We can use it to divert water to flood the prison. We let the prisoners know beforehand what's going to happen. We supply them with weapons sneakily at night, simultaneously while this is being flooded. While people are distracted by the flood, the denizens will cause an uprising, and we will barge our way to the lift with Killian and the former Lord of Ironroot, and we take that team upstairs and we get out of here. Now there's a lot of risk involved, so if you have any changes to this plan or think we can do this a little better, let me know.
Do you think the canaries will care? Like, are they just gonna leave as soon as it starts flooding?
I think I would bet that they would try to do their job until it got too bad. So maybe if they were surrounded, for example, or what if they were locked in the prison cells?
Ooh, interesting.
I know. When things start flooding, we'll have to go to higher ground, right?
Yeah.
We can't just stay down here. They'll have to move everybody upstairs.
I mean, they don't have to.
Well, they could do that, or they could assemble everyone to slightly higher ground. Maybe not necessarily upstairs, but they'll open the cages, right? And when that happens, everybody grabs a canary, throws into the prison, and locks them up.
I mean, I already have.
Oh, you cut out a bit.
Already
there.
what?
Yeah.
I already have keys, so.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's for our own cells. So, actually, do our cell keys open other cells, or?
Probably. Like you have a big key. You basically have a big key ring. You found the key for each of your own cells because you had time to experiment overnight.
Mm-hmm.
You feel like with a little bit of time, there's a good chance it contains at least every cell in your cell block. It's more the door is past the cell block that you're not sure what it will open and what it won't. Right? Like it might open stuff beyond that, but it also might not. That's where it gets fuzzier. But definitely seems to open the cells and the cell block.
Okay. So I feel like the plan should be mechanically. I think it should be, if we want to arm the other prisoners, Miffy should go out, grab the weapons from there, and while Ember and I begin to unlock things, maybe I can do a little song and dance, or just song, like cover up some of the sound of it. Or maybe actually, Miffy, you're also the one who knows how to use the machine, right?
Yeah, but it sounds like I can teach you guys real quick, so I can do whatever. Or we can all do this, I believe. Right, Voice in the Sky?
Yes, anyone could learn how to do the machine. Like, at some point, Miffy can, like, draw on the table or in the dust in the cells what levers do what.
Okay. So, yeah. So definitely we should, like, get the machine started and then start unlocking, and then when we know, like, we see the flooding, then we head out.
Is the flooding gonna keep rising if we don't move quickly?
Great question. What?
I mean,
I'm not
What do you know about fluid dynamics?
I don't like it.
yeah, I mean, if you redirect the water over here, it's going to fill up all the low areas, and then it'll go up. Whether it depends on the water source, how you get it over here. There's a non-zero chance it will just flood the area, depending on how. See, the thing is, right? If you want to be certain it won't flood the area, right, to give yourselves to be like, well, we don't want to drown, so we want to make sure it's more of an inconvenience. And that also runs the risk of making it a little bit too, a little bit weak,
No, we should, if we can plan to purposefully flood this entire place, I think we should do that, even if it's a risk to ourselves. I think that's going to be a risk to everybody, and they might turn to dealing with the elements rather than us at some point.
And if things do become more problematic, we can probably use the digger thing, right?
Exactly.
To close up what we caused, yeah.
Or just make a new tunnel.
A tunnel away from the water, of course. Okay. So that seems like most
a plan.
Yeah.
Alright, so if I got this correctly, it's step 1, arm the other prisoners and unlock the cells. Step 2, flood everything. Step 3, escape, right, in the chaos.
I was thinking more we started it, like maybe the flooding a bit slowly to like kind of prime it up a little bit. Then we arm people, unlock cells, and then we like really lay into it with the machine.
Well, I think that the machine is going to make a lot of noise.
We'll
so
be
I think we should arm.
rock.
So I think we should arm the people first, because once we start the flood, it's going to be like everybody's going to pay attention to that.
Okay, I'm fine with that.
And you can get weapons to them through the bard.
Yeah.
Yes. So here's the question. Who is going to be in the clockwork machine? I can do it. If I go, I would like to request Arrow to be in there with me. I feel like Arrow might go with me. Or the cat. I say I'll look to the cat first if he's up for it. If not, then I'm gonna go to Arrow. I'll just be like, you in?
Kylian is closer. His cell is right over there.
Yeah. So either of them is a viable option. I will say, just to not to throw a wrench in here, but like, there's a good number of prisoners, right? If you're trying to arm everyone who could conceivably be armed, one person probably isn't carrying all of those weapons by themselves while being stealthy, right? You're not carrying a dozen swords while moving quietly. You know, just something else.
Could we form a line where it's like you pass down a weapon?
Fireman's carry.
Yeah.
They're not. The weapons are not stored in the prison cells area. You have to leave the area to go get them. So probably not, unless you have all of them.
How far? Well,
it's not too far, but it's a couple, like a minute or two away, a couple minutes. If you're moving quietly.
I think we should arm perhaps some of the more important people for our plan.
And the denizens who are really strong? The ones who are always really tough?
Yeah, but like...
the miners.
Who do we think would be the key people to arm during this?
I mean, there aren't too many named people. There's Vera, who's an innkeeper, so I don't know how strong she is. There's Arrow, who I feel like is really... who could be like a clincher here, right?
Arrow is more... I feel like Arrow would know more about using a weapon than is Master.
Probably, yeah. They are named after a type of ammunition, so...
Exactly.
Let's give them a bow, and they just go Hawkeye at everyone.
Yeah, what about we arm Arrow and someone else, like one of the buff miners or something, and while they're armed first, everybody else during the chaos can also go to the armory on their own and grab their own weapon.
We give them directions.
Yeah.
Yeah, if they want to go pick up a weapon, cool. If they want to run for their lives, also cool.
Yeah, there's no sticking the whole 24 people together in one group here. Everyone's sort of running on their own. It's like, all right, you're all free. Escape now. How?
Whee!
Now. Right, is that what I'm hearing?
Yeah, go.
All right.
Well, we'll tell them where the weapons stash is if they choose to do that.
Okay. You also know that there is like medical supplies and whatnot in Carlo Brightwing's office, which from your time in there, he doesn't sleep in there or anything, right? So theoretically, you could try to sneak in there and grab some stuff as well if you were interested in such things. All right. Sounds like we've got our plan.
Woo!
Do we begin execution?
I think we should take a break first.
Good call. Right. I keep forgetting that we have break times. We can take a break time here. That is a great suggestion. We'll do exactly that. Let's take a quick break, everyone. Fill up the waters, use the restroom, and most importantly, be back for the resumption of this episode in what? Should we say? Do we want 5 minutes? 10 minutes?
Let's do 5.
All right. See y'all in 5.
Woo!
I don't know why that be back sounded pointed. Like you assumed on us to be like, okay, I'm gonna go drive down to get some in and out. I'll be back in like an hour.
No.
I don't know. It just felt really weird. That's good. Okay, I'm gonna.
All right, we're back, and it's time for a prison break.
Tonight it's gonna be a jailbreak.
And it's,
Somewhere in this mine.
it begins with the cells unlocking, and it sounds like we're going to go get some weapons for some key figures first, and then send a crew over towards the tunneler to get, to get everything going.
Yeah.
So you unlock your cells, gesturing to the other prisoners who are awake. Though I imagine you wait until most people are asleep. To be quiet. And is just Miffy going and grabbing them, or Ember and Milo going as well and arming up?
I'll go with them. Yeah.
All right. What about you, Ember? You coming along?
Going to figure out which go where.
Because I haven't tested. Yeah, I haven't tested outside of our particular cell. So,
So you'll be slowly unlocking everything for each of these. All right. So Miffy and Milo, for this first part of.
Wait. But I also want to make sure that I want to see if Killian is going to do anything.
What about him? Oh, just like, hey,
If he's going to join or not.
how do you pitch it? Or do you just like look at him and look for the glint in his eyes?
considering you pitched it earlier.
Yeah, you did pitch it earlier.
I look at him and I whisper. Oh, it looks like someone stole Killian's clockwork machine. Was it Killian? Is he in his cell?
What?
Or did he join that rascally mouse? Sort of like choose your own adventure.
Right.
Like, he doesn't have to be blamed for it if he's in his cell. Or did he fight for himself?
Is he a man or a mouse?
The correct choice is mouse here.
I think that if the machine were to go missing, then of course the first suspect would be the engineer, the one who knows how to move it most skillfully. He approaches the cell, or like the door. Miffy, are you talking on mute?
No, it sounded like I didn't really understand if that meant. Did he step forward because he wants to be let out? Okay.
Yeah.
Sorry, I wasn't sure if it was like they would blame the engineer first, but I'm here. You know, it's like
Oh, sorry. No.
They're sleeping.
and I unlock his cell. They would have blamed you anyway. Here or not. Now let's go.
He'll nod and follow along, although I suppose... Yeah, I guess you're going to get the weapons first, send some back, and then send him and you to the machine?
It sounded like Milo wanted to come too, is that right? Or are you trying to... Okay.
I'm coming too.
All right.
Ember waves with an excited grin as they pass.
You got this.
Yep.
Like, a lot of the prisoners are asleep, except for, like, whoever, once Ember starts messing with the keys at a door, they'll start waking up.
Fair.
Meanwhile, though, Arrow's just, like, bundled up at the door, just watching you all go by. As you approach this first intersection, it is pretty late, and you can hear in a tired voice, Kula Two-Tone just explaining the same marketing conversations you had earlier to this mercenary who's on guard duty, like across the table, who is definitely nodding off from the explanations. It's just like, look, I'm just saying, if we use the jingle, right? And like,
No.
uh-huh. Yeah. Great idea.
Excellent.
Yeah, so that's the discussion's happening. So I'm not going to make you guys roll for sneaking out, but when we come back, we're probably going to need to do some rolling here. So for now,
Fair enough.
let me make them visible. Let me make sure it is visible. You should, as a player, now be able to see on the far right. On the far right of your tabs, there's a compendium pack. It's right next to the gears. It looks kind of like a book.
Oh.
Okay, yeah.
Let me see. There should be a stashes of stuff folder,
Yeah.
a guard supplies, and potentially a mine supplies one as well.
I only see guard.
All right.
Yeah.
I'll make
Same.
I'll make the mine supplies ones visible also because Ember did get a look at what was there. But this is like the stuff that's in the mine supplies is in the office. The guard supplies is in the area that you guys are now going to, Miffy and Milo and Killian. So feel free to just start looting through the guard supplies, picking up whatever you want for yourself, whatever you want to give to if there's something you want to give to a particular NPC, do let me know.
Okay.
But you should be able to just drag it onto your sheet. If you can't, let me know and I will do it for you. But
Okay.
it should also automatically calculate load. Remember to pay attention to that. That is in the bottom left. You have the equipment and load section of your character sheet. Most of you can carry somewhere between 3 to 6 units worth of stuff. Most things are worth 1. So
Okay. I'm gonna. It's just a short bow. Does it have arrows with it, or?
yeah, there'd be arrows. It doesn't track. I don't believe you track ammunition in this.
Oh, nice.
System.
Okay, I'm gonna take the. I'll take the bow. There we go.
Sounds good.
And spear, and I'll take the baton. Okay.
All right, I grabbed armor and a cutlass. Cutlass?
Cutlass.
Don't cut last.
All right.
Cutlass? I hardly know her.
Did you have something specific you wanted Killian to pick up, or is he just grabbing whatever? He doesn't look like he's the most familiar with weapons. That's not
He'll
his,
hold the medical supplies.
That's back past the office, so you're gonna have to do some extra
okay. I thought.
sneak
Well,
moving
in mine supplies it says medical.
Yes,
right.
the
The mine supplies are in the
supplies.
office.
So it's only visible because that's only accessible to Ember.
Well, you know what's in there. Ember's not. It's not accessible to Ember right now either, but you know what's in there because Ember saw it in the past.
Oh,
I
okay.
can't tell
Well,
you.
then he should wear armor. Give him
Alright.
armor.
Both
And
of them.
I don't know, what's the easiest thing to use? A baton? It's blunted. So
Yeah, that's probably good for his I don't quite know how to fight sensibilities. Just give me the one that's not stabby.
Yep.
All right. And I assume you're bringing back a bow for arrow?
Yep.
And then anything
should I
else?
put it on my sheet or?
Oh, I got a bow too, so I was gonna bring it to him.
Okay.
All right. Then I guess it's just is there anything else in particular you're grabbing while you're here? Are you grabbing something for Ember?
Oh yeah, Ember. What do
Puppy
you want?
eyes,
What
please.
do you want? Do you want a spear, a baton, a cutlass, a short bow?
A knife.
Okay, you get the cutlass then. You can drag that onto your sheet, or can she drag it onto her sheet and just not use it until we give it to her?
Yeah, we
or
can
what?
do that for now. Just put it on your sheet for now, and if something stops you from getting there, we'll know that you can't actually use it yet.
Yeah.
All right. Anything else?
Word.
You know what? I'll take another set of armor to give our noble friend
Fair enough.
later.
All right. Sounds good. Pick that up. And then we'll start heading back. Are you heading back in the tunneler and then going to hand off this stuff once you tunnel through? Or are you heading back, passing the stuff off, and then tunneling?
If we can pass off the stuff before tunneling, I think that's what I would like to do.
All right. So as you're on your way back, Ember, you're going through figuring out which keys do what. You, of course, started with Killian up here and then came around. You're a good way through it, probably up to around arrows, getting that one sorted. When you hear Brightwing's voice speaking a little louder from one of the back rooms, like he's starting to move around a bit. Now there's a closed door between you and him. You can't entirely hear what he's saying, but you do get the sense that he's moving.
Mm-hmm.
But I'm just going to give you that information. You can continue with doing what you're doing for now. The conversation down here is still the same, just further along.
Okay.
And I mean that in both ways, right? Two-Tone is further along recounting what you've discussed earlier, and the mercenary is further along in passing out. So, you know.
Yeah, I'm unlocking things, but telling people to stay put for now. Just like, wait, motion. Because I would hope that they would understand that just because the door is unlocked doesn't mean there's way out.
No, I think that makes sense. So Ember, you continue unlocking, you get arrows. This one is perhaps the most harrowing of them because there are the bars on the left. It's kind of hard to hide while also trying to unlock it. But the one here, this canary is like doing the bird thing of blinking with one eye, then blinking with the other eye, you know, just like of very much falling asleep. So you're like, you know, slinking through the shadows, trying very carefully. And as, just as you get that sorted, before the rest of the crew has come back, you start moving and you hear Carlo's footsteps, followed by his voice, as he enters the room to check in on the two on watch. There's like a... Can birds snap in this world? I don't know if they can. Maybe... we'll you know what? We'll say he gives like a little trill instead, right? A little bird call. Yeah, a little chitter. Like, you're supposed to be awake, both of you, and keeping watch. When was the last time you patrolled these halls anyway? And at that, like, the mercenary's like, oh, sorry, Captain. Right away. Do it right now. And the two start getting up. Ember, it looks like they're about to move up and down the halls, but the captain leaves after checking on them. It looks like they're getting ready to start heading your way. Where do you go in this moment?
Are there rocks?
Rocks?
Yeah.
Like just like loose rocks? Like rubble?
Yeah.
Like throwable sized rocks?
Yeah.
Yes. This is, you know, tracked in on people's shoes or, you know, just like you're doing mining during the day, right? Like there's plenty of little bits and pieces around here. What do you do with the rock?
From the position I'm at, the only way to throw is down the hall towards where the others may be coming in.
Yep, that's where they're going to be coming in eventually, but not at the moment, hopefully.
All right, I am throwing as hard as I can so that it sounds like something hits the door down that way.
Okay, let's see. I think this is probably a trick an NPC, right? You're tricking them that something's happening over there, right?
I mean, the sound is over there.
Right. And I think just looking at the consequences, I think it makes sense that this is the one to roll. So why don't you roll a trick for me?
Okay, so okay. That was not the thing to click. No!
Oh no.
I'm doing badly tonight. I'm so bad at this. What happened to last week?
What does that do?
What does that do? That means I get to say what happens next. So I think you throw the rock, like to try to hit the door at the other side, but perhaps maybe it's just because it's dark. Maybe it's because you've been looking like so close to your paws this whole time that your like depth perception's a little off, right? And so when you go to throw, the rock takes a nice path to this corner and then hits it, bounces back to this corner and then back to this. It's like makes like a bunch of noise in this intersection, and almost
I'm scurrying away.
Yeah, you start running, and immediately the freshly awake mercenary rushes in towards the intersection. So I assume you're running to your own cell? Yeah.
Yep, if possible.
Yeah, you can run to your own cell, but they are very clearly on the alert as you can hear them rushing out into the intersection. Even Brightwing, who had just started to had been walking away, like pauses at hearing the two mercenaries like rushing out rushing out into the hall. And
Arrow, do something.
Yeah, like the
Arrow, use your kung fu grip.
The mercenary and Kula are like peering into the cells, being like, not quite saying like, who did that? Like, what was that? Like, they're looking around, trying to discern it without saying it.
Because you can still throw stuff between the bars.
Yeah, I think I kind of want to flip a coin for Arrow here to see how sassy Arrow is.
Fair enough.
Let's see. Let's roll. I'm just gonna roll a d2. On a 2, Arrow will be a little bit more helpful to the cause, perhaps at cost to themselves. So let's see. All right, on a 1. So on a 1, right. Arrow like makes eye contact with this mercenary, just shrugs. I didn't see anything. And meanwhile, the mercenary the mercenary sees that attitude and Arrow and hisses, something was just here. You better tell me. And like reaches in to like reach, reach through the bars to grab Arrow. And when they do, like they put one hand on the bar and like the other one to like reach through with Arrow, and like the door slowly like moves open slightly. And I think it's around then at that creaking of the door that Miffy, Milo, and Killian like return, and you peek in.
Hey guys, we're back.
You peek in, and this is what you hear/see. You hear one of the you see the two guards looking into the cells. One of them with the door half open and looking thoroughly confused. They have not yet spotted you.
I know what I would do if I was Arrow, but I'm not, so...
You're not Arrow, you're Miffy.
Let's see.
Sad that.
What if...
Today on plan immediately goes awry due to the initial critical failure.
What if I wrecked something? I don't know, Milo, what do you want to do?
Milo... What do we have in our hands?
We
have the items we picked up.
Yep,
the weapons?
Yeah, you have weapons. You have tambourine, baton, short bow.
Is it like...
Take the shot!
A shot! Let's see here. What do I got? Moves. To figure someone out. Read a tense situation. I can do that.
It is, in fact, a tense situation. Let me look at that move first to see just how much it applies here in this moment.
Who is in control here?
Yeah,
that's an NPC. Persuade.
You read a tense situation.
You know what? Can I try and persuade them?
What?
Well,
you think that's possible?
I
think you could actually persuade Kula. but I don't know about this random mercenary.
Try and persuade Kula.
Just like pop in, just like. Yeah, are you what's your
Well, I'm gonna put
angle?
away I'm gonna hide away the bow and the baton.
All right.
Hey, Kula, want to see a running full force?
Want to see my chainsaw and hockey mask? No.
So
can I be
persuade
like
is-
hidden while they're doing that?
Yeah, you guys don't have to all pop your heads in, but like you've arrived at the door at this moment. And to be clear with persuading is when you persuade them with promises or threats. So you're trying to get Kula to do something or to agree with you on something via making promises or threatening them or something along those lines, right? So
Okay. Can I do the roll and then decide if it's gonna be a promise or a threat?
sure, I'll allow that.
Okay, here we go.
All right, a 7, a
Woo!
weak hit. What promise or threat are you what promise or threat are you exerting upon this bird?
Okay. Is there copyright in the forest?
Well,
Can I take him to court for trying to steal my jingle?
I think
Can I threaten them with legal action?
Oh my god!
I'm joking. Okay.
I feel like
first thing
you
the
probably could, but I wonder how effective that would be as a prisoner.
I'm gonna write
but-
a really mean Kendrick diss track against you if you don't let us go.
Prisoner breaks out, immediately threatens to sue you.
Yeah, it's not a safe environment. I could have gotten hurt when I left. Okay. How am I gonna phrase this? Alright. Okay, fuck. Well, looks like you're just in time to see us bring in the cavalry.
Is that a persuading thing? Or is that the threatening? Is that a threat?
That's the threat.
That's the threat.
You know, you've been too heavy on your heels. You don't know what's going on around you. Well, I got me and my posse. We're here. If you don't let us past here, you don't just go about your business holding up the wall. We're gonna pluck you real good and hang you from the highest tree branch for the buzzards.
Jesus Christ, Milo!
He's a bard. What do you expect?
Shut up, Miffy! Shut up! You're not supposed
All
to be
right.
here. No, wait, no, I'll leave Miffy out of this for now.
Yeah. Milo, I think so. Since you got a weak hit, right?
Yeah.
Your threat doesn't quite land, and you need to do something to sway them. I think this threat coming from you in this moment, like Kula's looking, it's like piecing together what's happening. That cell door is open. It's like starting to reach out to the cell door in front of them. You come in from the side and make this threat. But like in their mind still, they're still in like marketing land and like having these conversations with you earlier. You make this threat, but in their head, you are not a threat. In order to successfully scare them into listening to you, you, Milo, the person making this threat, need to take immediate action to show that you do pose a threat, right? Like you need to do something that either successfully causes harm or otherwise demonstrates the power that you and your team wield.
I kind of... Can I... Let's see here. What's an action I can do? Help interfere, plead.
You do have a bow and arrow.
Action. Shoot him.
I mean, you shoot the you could shoot the guy behind him.
Can I kind of reach out my middle arm towards, like, behind the corner where Miffy and Killian are?
Yeah. Let me
And,
intimidate
like,
them.
like, specifically to Killian and be like, hold out my hands pleadingly for anything. to make it seem like I have a crucial part of the excavator, and I'm gonna be like, your little boy, our boys are already tearing up your little backhoe. And if you don't want it any more destroyed, you're gonna go back to your little break room and take a quick 5. You hear? Or you're gonna be picking out the pieces out the ore veins for weeks. So I'm trying to trick him to make him think like we're trying to tear apart the excavator.
I think all Killian can hand you is maybe some scrap splinters. Like, it's not like he has anything like when he's in his cell and he just went and picked up weapons, right? Like, he doesn't
Well, like, make it seem like it's like part of the excavator we like broke apart. Do they have anything like that?
I don't think so. Like, I don't know what he would have on hand.
What if I like take the string off the bow?
Oh, like just trying to be like, this is like cable.
This is the drawstring that holds the whole linchpin. Without this, that machine is worthless.
All right, I will allow you to attempt to trick them, but I do think that this will take a -1 due to the fact that what I had said for persuade was like, you need to prove you're a physical threat, and this isn't really doing that, right? So I'm giving it a -1 due to not being the thing that like would be most effective, but it could still work. So
all right, if that's the case, then I'm gonna take out the baton.
Yeah.
I can take it. Violence.
Yeah, violence.
I'm gonna take out the baton and like put it on my little. I'm gonna put it in my little hand, and I'm gonna grab the tambourine and put it in my main hands. And I'm gonna like do a little acting. I'm gonna like bring it across, like as I'm going across the bars here, and go towards them. I'm gonna like scrape it across the bars to go like ding 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 ding. Like I got a new tune for you, and I'm sure you can. I think you might have heard it before because it's got a lot of. And when I say this, I like smack the baton into my other hand. I go upbeats. That's like to intimidate them.
All
so
right.
what I roll for that?
So I don't think you get to roll to intimidate them again with words, right? You already rolled to intimidate them with words, and this is the result you're stuck with. You're either do something physical to convince them, or they don't, like they freeze rather than flee, right? Like, because they're currently processing what's happening. If you you're trying to get them to get out of your way and let you pass, right now they're standing in your way unless you, like, the result of the previous roll is they could listen to your threats, to your intimidation, if you prove that you are a physical threat, which all of this leading up, still very intimidating, but it's still about the same as what you did before, which is speak to them, right?
Okay.
You need to hurt someone. Or smash something.
Or you need to do something physical. Like, you need to like show physical potential for violence, right?
Throw a rock better than Ember.
Throw a rock better than Ember did.
Is Kula holding anything?
Kula probably is like holding the door that's next to them, but not like they don't have a weapon in hand.
What about the person behind them?
I think the person behind them is starting to draw their cutlass.
I have a question. Are the 2 additional threats canon? Is that enough time for me and Champenois to exit the scene?
Oh, you two want to start backing off to go get
Yes.
the tunneler?
Yes.
Okay, yes, I will allow that if that's what you want to start doing, yes. Alright, you start to flee. Alright. Let's go. It's gonna take a little bit of time though, but you're running for it.
Okay,
We dropped the extra weapons, or I guess Milo has the weapons to give to Ember.
Okay.
Shit. Can I target someone?
Like with you have a bow or something to throw? Right, that's the ranged one, I believe.
It is.
Yep.
I was thinking it's probably not a. I guess probably using the bow would be better because I was gonna just use the baton and like throw it at them.
You have a ranged weapon right there.
Yeah, you have a
All
ranged
right.
weapon that you can use, but if you'd prefer to throw the baton for whatever reason, then you are allowed to do that. I cannot stop you.
Okay, so I drop the baton at my feet, I pull out the bow, and I aim a shot at the guard behind them.
All right. Roll your target someone. A weak
Okay.
hit. You inflict injury. All right. So the guard behind them takes injury as they're like reaching towards, reaching for their cutlass, looking at Arrow, looking over their shoulder at you. The arrow flies over Kula, whose head snaps around,
What?
and then embeds itself like in the canary's wing. There's like a
Ow!
beat before a shrill screech from the bird after being shot in the arm, just like
Get arrows.
Kula's like,
Get arrow. Just silence him.
yeah, Kula's gonna run, and I think Arrow will at that point just leap out from the cell, just like push the door out strongly and just jump off and start like punching the canary repeatedly. But there's sounds are happening. Sounds are happening right now.
Okay.
But cool, you did successfully get Kula to flee at the very least. Brightwing's on his way, but Ember denizens, are they just, you guys just like, all right, let's go, let's get out of here?
Yeah.
I mean, at the scream, probably.
Yeah, probably. Everyone's like, all right, go. Ember, are you just like pushing your way? Are you like going in like the middle of the crowd, or are you waiting for everyone else to go
No,
out
I'm
first?
waiting. I'm not gonna get in the middle of that.
All right.
Okay, I start like ushering people, like, come on, get out.
All right. So I think all the people who are just fleeing will be able to make it out without issue, as you hear Brightwing calling as he approaches at a pretty steady pace. Canaries!
Attack!
Yeah. There's something in the mind that requires your attention. And he's got to be striding this way. And as soon as he sees Kula, he'll be like, get yourself together, cadet. Like lecture, in that lecturing tone. Ember, Milo, what are you two doing? He's approaching. He's getting pretty darn close. Most of them have most of the denizens have gotten past you. Are you two sprinting for it? Are you two trying to slow him down somehow?
Is this door is locked, right?
Yep.
But
yep.
the doors out here are usually locked, right? They're not cells, though. Okay.
I'm gonna be looking at Milo questioningly because I was behind everyone.
Yeah.
You know what? I'm gonna cause a distraction.
All right. What's your distraction?
I'm gonna do what I was doing before, like playing the tambourine and rattling the bars.
Mm-hmm.
I'm gonna do that. See here.
Boop.
Okay, here moves. Silver tongue. All eyes on me. I'm gonna do all eyes on me.
All right. Let's see. What does this one do? So with your distraction, I assume you're trying to buy Ember, Arrow, and all of those who have already left more time.
Yeah, just so like they're focused on me and they're not looking towards like where Arrow and Ember are.
Okay. Oh, I see. More just trying to maybe get them to turn their back towards.
So
your
they
other
can do
ally.
sneak attacks and stuff like that.
Yeah, though they are currently, unfortunately, unarmed. You are carrying weapons intended for.
Yeah.
But
Doesn't Ember have? Let's see.
You have to hand it to them first.
I don't have it yet.
Yeah. I was like gonna see if they could do pickpocket or sleight of hand or something to.
I have pocket sand.
Ooh. So how about? Do you want to do? I distract. Actually,
you distract.
Yes, you-
Ember tries to draw Brightwing's sword from.
Oh my god!
off of him.
Like, do that in one movement to a pocket sand.
So pocket sand is when you throw something to confuse an opponent's senses at close or intimate range. Roll with cunning instead of finesse. It is the weapon skill confuse.
Right. Okay, so that's more. Let's see. Read it. Yes, that's for throwing them off balance, blinding them, deafening them. Give yourself an opportunity. So that would be more something you'd do if you wanted to try to slip past them quickly, right?
Mm-hmm.
Or in a situation where you had a proper weapon, do that, and then while they're like wiping their eyes, stab them in the gut. But you know.
All right, if that's the case and I have the time, can I toss the baton to Ember or Arrow?
Yeah, I think you have time for one thing. So I think if that's the thing you want to do, if you want to throw the weapon over, that's what you can do.
I'll do that.
Arrow's closer.
All right. Yeah, Arrow will grab it. Like you throw the baton over. Arrow grabs it from the air and then smacks the canary underneath them one more time before getting to their feet.
Hell yeah.
All right, Ember, what are you doing then in this moment? Are you trying to get out? Are you trying to hide?
I hear them coming.
Mm-hmm.
How many moves did it, like, I don't know how long this distance is. It's not a one-move hallway, is it?
Like, conceivably, Carlo could just, if Arrow wasn't here, could easily, like, walk around and walk over to you pretty quickly. Like, if you, like, are you asking to be like, could I just sprint out of here? Like, is that what yeah, you could run for it. Now, Brightwing seems like he's on guard for what shenanigans are happening. So
That's
you would be sprinting past a danger, but otherwise, I think you're well within your capabilities to try to just run for it, right?
I think Ember's first instinct is not to run in front of danger, but to be sneaky about it.
Okay.
So she's gonna hide.
She's gonna hide.
No. Okay.
All right. So Ember takes cover in one of the cells as Arrow is now armed. We cut briefly to Killian and Miffy sprinting through some of the halls. Killian saying to Miffy, "Well, this escape plan hasn't exactly gone well. I hope you didn't spend too long working on it."
Damn. It's been at least 5 minutes.
I don't know if Miffy has any retort to that before we cut back.
I wish I had something witty to say, but I just like, shut up and keep running.
That's good. I like that.
All right. So in that case, Milo, you can hear the other mercenaries in Ember too. Can hear the other mercenaries like quickly drawing their swords, putting on their combat boots, and stomping out into the hall. But they're taking time. The former Lord of Ironroot is unfortunately still in his cell at the moment.
Yeah, shame that.
Milo and Ember are so. Brightwing comes out around the corner, Milo, and of course he heard you earlier, or rather heard the arrow that you had caused, but looks over and sees not just the arrow that you shot, but also Arrow the mouse, who is close to the either unconscious or deceased mercenary, not entirely clear at a glance. And I think Brightwing's going to draw his sword and just start taking swings.
All right.
Milo, what are you doing? Are you getting out of here? Are you trying to join Arrow in fighting Brightwing? What's the thoughts here?
Shit. I'm running.
All right. I'm putting both unconscious and dead on the mercenary to keep it
whammy.
ambiguous which one it is.
Yeah, I'm running back into the mines.
All right. Milo starts to scatter. and you hear Brightwing shout behind you. The prisoners have fled into the mines. After them, find them, and drag them back.
Ooh!
Ember, you hear the sword play between Brightwing and Arrow as what sounds like other soldiers leave in pursuit of the escaped prisoners, not coming up this direction to check and see whether or not you're there. Are you staying hidden for the duration of this little duel?
Yep.
Yep. All right. Killian and
I'm gonna
Miffy.
get in the middle of that.
Killian and Miffy, the two of you reach the tunneler. I assume your plan is just like, all right, let's just start digging and flooding and immediately, right? As much as possible.
Yep.
All right, Miffy, roll the wreck something.
I'm gonna wreck it.
I'm gonna give you, much as I was potentially going to give Milo a -1 earlier, which we didn't end up actually doing for that one roll, but I'm gonna give you a +1 on this wreck roll. Wreck something.
How do
roll.
I add it?
I don't know if you can add it in advance. We can just add it in post.
All right.
Ooh.
To a
that
9,
gets me
which
10.
turns it to a 10, which turns it into a strong hit. You seriously break it. It can't be used again until it's repaired.
God.
You seriously break the flow of this water and send it
Oh my God.
spilling into the tunnels. So it's like, I imagine what's happening is Champenois is like doing the piloting of it, so the tunneler lurches to life, and the two of you direct it. I assume Miffy gives the command, like, we're rerouting the water, because he doesn't know that part of the plan, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't know if you have a particular way you want to give the orders, but he is adept at following them and navigating the creature. Or not creature, the construct. And Miffy, meanwhile, I imagine that we see on the levers, swinging them as if they were large weaponry, just like clawing through all of the rock.
Yeah.
I think they're as loud as possible, just like.
I think Discord spared us that laugh. I think you got cut by Discord.
Have you seen footage of that anime game where it's like construction vehicle versus? I'm imagining it's like that.
No, I haven't.
The game's never played it.
Oh, I see.
It's like, and we dig a little tunnel over here, and then how about a little over here?
All right. As you are digging, the water begins to spill out. I think we see some of the denizens notice like the water spilling into some of the passages as they some of them seem to be inspired by this. Like, oh, they get it. We're escaping and stuff's happening to help us escape. Whereas the rest of them are like, oh my god, we're gonna die. Like that level of we don't know the plan and now we're trying to escape and it's flooding. We're dead. We don't know the way out. So they're just sort of scattered, running about. Milo, you can see this as you're going, but the water's starting to flow through. I don't know, Milo, if you have anything you want to do with the denizens as you're starting to run, or if you're just gonna head the way that you think the way out is.
Let's see here. What can I do? Silver tongue. This is the trade. Improvise. Travel along path. I think just try and like hurry people towards the. Well, actually, now that I think about it, there's kind of a bottleneck at the elevator. I don't know how many people can be on it at a time.
Did anybody grab the weapons?
I got a bow.
No, I mean of the denizens.
Oh, I don't even think. I don't think too many of them were aware of that at the moment. Although I guess you could have told them while you were opening the cell doors where they were at, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Probably there would be the break-off group of the miners would go to try to grab those, whereas the non-mining ones would just be trying to get out.
Okay, how about I post up near the spillway of what connects the prison cells to the mines. I kind of post up with the bow.
Okay. All right. So you're like in the middle of the passage, maybe waiting for Ember to catch up. Who knows? Or keeping an eye out for the mercenaries.
Keeping an eye out for the guards, so if they come in, I can take pot shots at them.
Mm-hmm. All right.
Okay.
Ember, you.
Are all of the mercenaries on the map still there, or have they left?
So, yeah. So here's what happens. You hear the squad of them move past and out into the space between the prison and the mines, right?
Uh-huh.
There's the skirmish happening between Carlo, Brightwing, and Arrow, and as it comes to an end, you hear a Brightwing shout, "You two, make sure that former Lord doesn't leave his cell. We don't need any other escapees tonight. I'll go drag the rest back myself." And he's going to go head out as well. And then these two, they go to guard the outside of the former Lord of Ironroot's cell. And when Two-Tone acknowledges, their voice is a little shaky. They are shaken by the sudden outbreak of violence in the prison break, and the fact that it may have made them look bad, and now they're going to get a bad performance review. But
They're going to get 4 stars instead of 5.
They might not get a promotion.
Okay.
Ember, what are you up to?
I'm coming out of hiding and finding 2 unconscious bodies. I'm taking the baton and the sword.
Yes,
Ooh.
yes, you can grab both of those. All
Did
right.
Arrow die?
They're unconscious.
Yeah, Arrow's marked with unconscious. It does look like Brightwing, for his part, did at least try to keep Arrow alive. So Ember, you don't see any grievous wounds, right? There's certainly bruises and things, but Brightwing for the moment appears to be going for non-lethal damage. We'll see how long that persists, but
Okay. Well, these 2 are unconscious, so I've taken their stuff.
Yep.
And I'm going to head towards where the former Lord of Ironroot is.
Uh-huh. Oh, with the 2 guards. How bold of
Yeah! I mean, that was the plan, right?
you. Mm-hmm. Uh-huh. What's the tactic here?
The tactic is to go running. It's flooding! Everything is flooding!
Oh, no. I mean, you're not wrong. Mm-hmm.
I think I might have a skill for this.
Okay.
No, Charm Offensive is to happen during a fight. Is this...
We're probably not in a fight at the moment with you.
No. This would be another trick NPC. I haven't been doing well with this.
It's true.
Third time's a charm.
Third time is a
Yeah!
charm.
You know what? You're right.
Except for
Let's
this
do
isn't
this.
charm, this is cunning, but
Shut up.
Badoomts.
I have +2 to both.
Yeah, there you go. Yeah, so as the water starts to spill into the prison, Ember, you
gonna
run
come
in. Yeah.
Panic. Yes!
Yeah, let's
Yeah.
go.
Ooh, damn.
All
It
right.
is. There is water coming in, and she's like, "It's flooding! We have to get out of here!"
Flooding. The one mercenaries, the 2 of them, you run in, you say that they immediately have their weapons drawn when you rush in. But as you say that, you got a strong hit. You've tricked them into your panic being genuine, and they look to each other, and the other mercenary is like, "Oh, it's we flooding, but we have to. We were told to make sure the Lord of Ironroot doesn't escape." And then Kula's looks towards the water flowing in behind Ember. But if we stay here, You'll be the dead former Lord of Ironrune. I don't know if he's good as a prisoner like that. You. Kula points to you with their baton, but then feels a little bit like, we were having a great conversation earlier. This feels weird, and like puts it away, right? Like
Aww.
it's just like you stay close behind us and no funny business. And
I'm
then
sniffling with big eyes and scared face.
and a
just
sword
like,
and baton behind your back. Just
Yep.
like all right, get the former lord. And so the one mercenary is going to go in here and he's going to bind the former lord. You hear the like, oh, what merits all of this roughness in the middle of the night? This is completely uncalled. Is that water? Is it flooding in here? Oh dear. Let's see. What's a good? I don't know what's a good marker. So I'll just put a down arrow on it. Let's put a down arrow on him. And Kula's going to like grab some rope and like just gesture to you as well. Your hands.
How am I gonna swim if I can't use my hand?
I can only doggy paddle.
Like you say that, and I want to say, but because you got a strong hit on the last one, they'll like look at you, blink, and then be like, how would you swim if you don't have your hands? All right, let's just go. Let's get out of here. Like, all right, let's go. But all right, so you're being escorted by these two guards slowly as the water is starting to build. Milo, we move back to you.
Oh my god.
We move back to you as you can hear the canaries approaching your location. You know, you were ready. You had your bow and arrow ready, but you can hear multiple of them. Are you still planning to try to harry or otherwise cause issues?
Yeah.
Okay. So I think you just aiming into the crowd and taking a shot.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Actually, can I like see, is the passageway? I wouldn't want to do that. No. Okay, I'll just take shots at them.
Okay. All right. So you'll take a shot as soon as they come into view. Roll your target someone
Okay.
as they enter the path.
Wow.
Ooh,
Okay.
a strong hit. All right, so you can either
Nice.
inflict injury twice upon them, or you can stay hidden by ducking back into the passageways, and they won't know exactly where you're at.
I'm gonna stay hidden.
All right. So an arrow flies from Milo's bow, catches one of the canaries with a yell.
By the toe. If they holler, let them go.
Eeny, meeny, Milo, mo.
Mo, yeah.
There you go.
Yeah.
Milo, you vanish into one of the tunnels, and the canary's like, must be around here somewhere. We need to spread out. Find them. And like the water at this point, it's building up and up. Miffy, just how much water are you trying to get in here?
All of it.
That's what I thought you were going to say. You know, just given Miffy and the circumstances.
How many claws does this have?
Has two big claws.
Can I have one claw as a scoop for any denizens,
Oh,
You want to
and then the other claw for, digging?
Yes, you could theoretically do that. Yeah. Are you trying to like? So here's what I'm saying. What I'm going to try to say. You guys you and Killian can like remain further apart and just keep crashing more through the walls to let more and more water in, or you can start heading towards the group to try to grab some of them and pick them up. Depends on you whether you want to focus on causing more flooding and chaos or whether you want to start pivoting to escape. Miffy, your verdict.
Oh, sorry. I thought I was talking the whole time.
Alas!
Tell me how much more flooding would actually happen, like mechanically speaking. Like, would there be less time for people to react? Would people drown faster?
If there was more water, then I think it would make pursuit harder of the groups that are ahead, but it would also make escape harder for the groups that are behind, right? Like you're increasing the water level quickly, right?
I think I'll keep causing chaos until Milo is found, right? They don't know where Milo is right now. So keep causing as much damage as possible until Milo is found. Meanwhile, I might, if there's anyone next to the machine, for example.
I don't think anyone would be near you in the mines if you're focusing on water, right? Like it's the middle of the night.
Yeah, fair enough. Okay, until Milo's caught, we cause destruction.
All right. Let the water flow, and much like before, you've already severely wrecked the water, so I'm not making you roll again to just keep it going, as this group's going to continue moving to escape. This group's going to start arming themselves up. All right, the water's reaching up to, I don't know, maybe like Milo's thighs, right? At this point, it's getting up there. As you're having your hit and run battle with the mercenary squad, are you continuing the same tactic, sort of just like hiding, taking pot shots? All right, feel free to roll your target someone once again then.
Lord, guide my arrow.
All right, weak hit. You do injure them, but this time you're not able to remain hidden, and they start.
There.
Yeah,
weird bug guy.
Yeah, they're like that way over here, right? Because this is like a group of them. You hit one of them. Is Milo going for kill shots, or are you just trying to like deal some harm?
Keep them at bay.
Yeah, keep them at bay.
Mostly.
So you're more just like, So you've hit a couple of them now. The wounds have caused a couple to peel off to start like binding them so that they don't bleed out while trying to chase you down. But those who are left, because it's a squad, come down separate tunnels to try to start cornering you. They don't have you quite cornered yet, but now they see you and they're closing in on you quite quickly.
That's my cue.
Yep. But it's not quite you yet, as Kula, Ember, and the former Lord of Ironroot move past this corner, and then Kula and the other mercenary notice the two unconscious and or dead ones there, and Kula's like, wait, if we leave them, they're gonna drown.
Oh no! We should.
And you would let them drown? What the fuck is wrong with you?
Milo, you're not here.
I throw my voice to make it seem like someone else.
I can get the mouse. I can't carry a bird.
I can get a mouse. I can't carry a bird with its hollow bones.
Well, if they tried to grab it, it would just break their wings. And...
Yeah, I just think that's funny. But I think Kula finds that agreeable. Each of you will grab one. So now that will make it a little bit more difficult for you to bring your weapons to bear, but it does make it actually a little easier to hide them, at least, right?
Yeah. Question: was I near the back while we were coming down the hall?
Yes. The two of them.
Could I have handed the sharp implement to the he's not a marquis, the previous duke or whatever
the
he
Eerie
was?
Noble? Yeah, you can.
Yeah.
I'll
hand that off to him to try and work on his ropes himself, because I can't do that.
Oh yeah, because you had picked up one of the cutlasses.
I got two weapons.
Yep, you hand it over, and he gives you a very exaggerated wink and then starts trying to shimmy it. He's not very good at it, but he's trying his best. And luckily...
That's off his own hands. Thanks, brother.
I was going to say, more luckily, the two guards with you are very overwhelmed at the moment with, like, the extra baggage that you're picking up, the water coming through. So I think he does have at least a little bit to try to get it undone. Now, whether he will succeed or not will be time for the future. But sounds like for now, you're at least trying to not cast suspicion on yourself and get escorted out of here, or at least to higher ground.
I'm getting escorted. It's great.
Okay. All right. Sounds good. All right. Miffy, you probably hear echoing throughout the tunnels, like, over there, surround him, like that sort of stuff. That's your cue, I believe, right?
Yeah.
All right. So are you heading to Milo specifically?
So can you point out where everybody is for a second?
I mean, we're just kind of
in this.
No, we're all like in the in-between.
Am I backtracking?
Yes, you'd be backtracking to go towards Milo.
I want to... Okay, I will have to backtrack because they are cornering Milo, so Milo's not going to get out of this. I'm going to corner them because they're all cornering one person, so I'm behind them, right? And I scoop them up.
All right, what's the
with
goal
my
here?
Claws.
Are you...
I scoop them up to the roof of the mine.
Oh my gosh.
Uh-huh.
Tell Milo to get in, and then I rudely dump them on the ground, and then I try to put my claw on top of them so I drown them.
Oh my god!
Man, you really just threw that in at the end there.
Well, they're just gonna get up, aren't they?
All right, I think what you're looking for is grappling an enemy, since you're going to be grabbing them. Now, the range is a little bit different, but because we're operating a clockwork machine, I think that's fair in this moment, that it's a little bit different on range. I think much like with the wrecking, we're just going to treat this machine as a +1 for things it's good at, which scooping up a bunch of birds and first getting them out of the way and then attempting to drown them. I think that's a...
I mean, I could bonk them on the head instead if that uses might versus something else.
Grapple also uses might, so that's up to you. Are you just trying to sweep them out of the way and deal harm, or are you trying to move them and try to, reposition them? Like, what's the focus?
I'll sweep and bonk.
All right, so you're bonking instead. All right. Then you can
because if I drown them, I have to hold them down for a while, and that takes too much time.
Oh god.
Yeah, roll engage in melee then.
Okay,
I know.
Where is the... Yeah, it takes a while. It takes longer than you think. Engage in melee, you said?
Yep.
7. Weak hit, right?
Oh yeah, yes, because you do get a... I did say you get a +1. All right, so you trade harm. The mercenary squad takes a bit of harm as you send a few flying into a wall. Some birds hit the wall and then they sort of just bob in the water afterwards, either unconscious or deceased from the impact. The remaining ones, however, turn their weapons away from Milo and onto the machine. And with a few swings, wood starts to crack and splinter in places as they're taking their swings at it. One of them jumps and they're trying to take a swing at you, Miffy, behind the controls, but they can't quite reach it. So their blade wedges into the hole in the front that you're looking through, right? Where there would be a front windscreen or whatever, but it doesn't have one. It's just
look, some bird shit on the window. I swipe out. Milo, get in.
Yeah,
all right, get in.
All right, Milo, you want to use this distraction to get in?
Yeah, I get in.
Yeah, all right. So Milo, you get in, and as you do, Killian says, mostly to Miffy, it's I wasn't lying earlier when I said this wasn't a war machine. It's not going to last long against swords. And you can tell it's not. Their swings are carving into it.
It's alright, we got what we needed. Milo, take control. We're gonna get out of here. Can we get like an extra plus because Milo's in now?
No, you're not getting an extra +1 if that's what you're asking. 1 + 1 is already incredibly strong in this system. Like, getting
Can I get advantage?
No. All right, but you're turning and leaving the squad and just trying to flee.
Can I get a
right?
level up?
You can't blame a mouse for trying.
No, I can't blame a mouse for trying.
That classic Miffy Mouse catchphrase.
All right. Well, we bonked. We got what we needed. We're backing out.
All right, so you're trying to flee now, right?
Yeah.
Okay, sounds good. The mercenary squad is pretty beat up. They try to pursue, but you're just a little bit faster. But you know who's not faster at the moment? This group all the way in the back. You're now wading through water that's like up to your stomach. And you're like just getting out of like the prison area into the middle of it. Like maybe now you're starting to pass by some of the signs of the mercenary squad battle as it like moves from like your stomach towards your chest. It's like, hey guys, it's filling up with water.
Ember is actually a little distressed. She really doesn't like being deep in water, like, honestly.
Don't blame him.
This is uncomfortable.
Perhaps backstory?
Maybe.
All right. Yeah, but Ember, what are you doing about your path? Like right now, you guys are moving, but due to the fact that like you're carrying extra people and like one's trying to make sure that the Lord of Ironroot's bound and he's trying to make sure he's not bound, but also seems bound. Like you guys are moving so freaking slow. Like it's not going quickly. Do you have anything that you would like to contribute to this, or are you just going to hope? Are we going to rely on, what was it, trust in fate, rely on luck? That you're
I'm
going
bad at that.
Yeah. Or do you have something inspiring you can say, something you can contribute to the group? Kula's very clearly like freaking out as well, just like, this isn't how I wanted today to go. I thought I was gonna get the thing working and get a promotion, like having a breakdown.
I have a thing, but I'm not sure who to point it at. It's called Desperate Smile.
Okay.
When you trust fate to see you through by begging, pleading, or abasing yourself, roll with charm instead of luck.
Oh, I see.
The only thing I can think of would be like crying at the mercenaries saying, I don't want to drown it. Like honestly, just absolutely begging to just find a way out.
Just like, please, just let me run ahead. I don't want to drown down here. Like that kind of.
Or something. Or like, can we be free to run? Like I am.
Like this is not good. If that's the route you want to take, then yeah, you can roll with charm to
the route we want to take.
So there's Desperate Smile and Charm Offensive, and there's also just base charms. Like I don't know what.
Yeah, and then also, I think it's up to you. I think with Desperate Smile, you're trusting fate to roll with luck. Which I think would be more if you're just like, I think that's more if you're just like you're generally trying to stick with the group and try. No, I think plead's probably better, honestly. Plead's probably better, just reading the two. Or not plead, persuade, right? You're trying to be like, look, I can find the way out faster. It'll be better. Just, I'm not gonna try to escape. I will try to escape. I'm not trying to escape.
Yeah.
Guys, I just don't want to drown.
Okay. So this is Persuade?
Yeah, I think so. I think this is Persuade. Alright, a 7. A weak hit. I think in this case, what can you do extra to sway?
I would love to know what else I can do other than cry, scream, and be terrified.
I think here's what we're going to do. Kula is going to look to you, carrying the unconscious arrow. Think upon how you were so helpful yesterday and today.
Aww.
wonder if it was all just to cause all of this flooding that's happening literally right now, or if there was any actual friendship in there, right? It's just like,
how you can't be friends with the prisoner. This is just
right. Look at this idiot. Look at this naive fool trying to find education and companionship. I think Kula will look to you and say, none of us are drowning down here.
Aww.
Not you, not me. Just find the path, but don't leave me behind. Don't leave us behind.
Oh no!
You better not make them drown.
So what I'm going to say is what you need to do to sway them is to promise this two-toned, bright-eyed, naive canary that you're not going to leave them to die. You don't even have to mean it. You just have to say it, right? Like you just have to say it, and they will let you run.
Oh! Okay.
All right, yeah, I take that okay as being Ember, just
Yes.
yeah. All right.
Yeah.
All right, so the two of you start to run on ahead. Kula, a little bit less physically adroit, is going to be also trying to move quickly, but you do start putting distance between you and the other group. Meanwhile, the former Lord of Ironroot like looks at you as you're running away. He's like, "Wait, what was the signal? What was the signal?" I was like, "Is that the signal? I don't know what I should be doing." So I don't know, unless you want to give him a signal, he's just going to be confused for a moment and then act as he wants, but that's not going to be your problem anymore by the time that happens.
That's fine by me.
All right. So in that case, I think group Milo and Miffy over here, you start to catch up because you can just tunnel through walls, which I will say is causing side tunnels to collapse. This thing's not like built for, or like these tunnels aren't really built for this sort of thing. You're like knocking the support structs out of the way. It's not the best, for escaping safely, but you do start to catch up to this other group of denizens. Not that you have room for all of them. Are you trying to lead the way for them, or are you trying to like pick some of them up? What's your plan here? You're getting near the lift.
All right, we're headed straight for the lift, but as my two companions are like continuing operating the machine, I sort of stick my head out and go, "Come with me if you want to live." And I turn the one of the claws out so more people can fit into it. Like be on this machine. And I just sort of being like, "Come on, go get it. Time for a ride."
Oh yeah, that's true.
Go.
You can carry more in the claws themselves. So it does slow down your progress a little bit because now you have to actually follow the tunnels, and some of them are a tight squeeze, especially when you're trying not to use your arms to like part the path a little bit. But you are able to pick. In that case, I think you can squeeze everyone on and pick everyone else up as you make your way. You make your way up towards the lift. Now, I know we're almost at time, but I think a little bit more of Ember and Arrow as the two of you are running. You see, as the water level is starting to reach like your shoulders, a battle as canaries and the miners who have now fetched weapons are fighting in the rising water while each is like jockeying to get the higher ground. But I assume you're just staying out of that and sprinting by, but you do see it. I don't know.
I will probably call back loud enough for the canaries to hear. There's more this way! Let them decide if that's a good or a bad thing, and I hope that Two-Tone and the gilded former leader hear me, because I don't know how far I've actually gotten.
Right. Yeah, so like you'll call that way. I think your voice will carry. Well, the water is flowing, so but you're
It
pretty
echoes
good.
really well.
Yeah, it echoes. That's true. It does echo well. So your voice does carry a decent bit. You call out. As for how they'll react to you. I suppose that's unclear because you're not slowing down. You're still going, right? You're gunning.
Yeah.
All right. And since it is 11, what I think will happen is we have our upper team arrive at the lift where in front of it we have the remaining captain
Metal Gear.
and her canaries
I
as they've
was
been
wondering
alerted by
where she
all of the
was.
sounds. But you are not alone. You have a bunch of unarmed mice and an excavating machine.
Oh, hell yeah. This is Metal Gear.
Oh my gosh.
And I
Right on
think
top of it.
that's where we will pick up next
Oh my
week
God.
on
Yeah.
Root Severance Payback.
Be sure to tune in, not next week, but next time for the
Next
Oh
time.
my
conclusion of
gosh.
Severance Payback.
Escape from Iron Root. We actually will get out of the mines this time. Boy, you gotta love spending a bunch of sessions on a plan and then immediately
Yeah.
the first roll is a complete failure. But you know what?
Yeah,
I feel like the longer a player character group plans, the more likely that is to happen. I don't know why
That's
it
why I
is.
go straight to violence.
if Ember had actually like followed along and gone towards Milo after the
Mhm.
after oh god
Instead of
after
hiding.
instead of hiding when we were like running down the things, like that's how you target someone, okay? That's how you make a distraction.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
Yep.
Yeah.
Here we are. Well, I hope everyone had fun. We'll discuss scheduling. We don't necessarily need to discuss scheduling right now, but if you know you're not available, I guess we can say it and then figure it out after.
Yeah. I just
other-
want to say, didn't we want to do our drives at the end?
Oh, yes, we do want to do that. Good call. All
Oof.
right. Drives. Revenge and chaos for Miffy. Companion.
What do you think? Do
or
I-
not companion, thrills and clean paws for Milo, and
I don't think I got clean paws. I'll be honest.
yeah, fair.
But thrills, that's possible.
And
I
Wanderlust
think
and
I'm
chaos.
heading that way at least, but I'm probably not there yet.
Yeah, I mean, you're currently riding
That is a thrill.
on this mechanical thing, hopefully about to escape from certain death or incarceration. Honestly, possibly both at the same time. So I do think that you are on the cusp thereof, but otherwise not quite there.
Yeah,
And
I like
yeah,
to add that while we're riding on the excavator, I'm playing a song like a chasing Dukes of Hazzard song, like just
How about Black Betty? I love Black
yeah.
Yeah, I mean, I think, honestly, looking at each of your drives right now, I think each of you has one that's close to being achieved, right? Like, certainly being imprisoned here because you might be criminals feels kind of tyrannical to me, and you're on the cusp of breaking out, potentially dealing with some of those leaders, which would speak to the chaos of the two that have it. And then Milo with the thrills, we're right on the borderline of that, but I don't think we're quite there yet. As we figure out this system and take it a little slow. I know I certainly didn't expect escaping from the mines the last 3 sessions, but you know what? We're all learning, and I like the amount of characterization we're getting out of it. You know, we're really getting to learn a bit about everyone here. And I do wonder, will Ember leave Kula Two-Tone to die?
Oh
We'll
my
find out.
god!
Oh god. If not, or if they end up dying, you have to have their ghost follow you from now on.
Oh my god!
Should have let me die. Ember.
Oh man! Do any of y'all know Transformers?
I mean,
A little bit.
in the
All I can
general
think
sense.
of is the Bumblebee quote-unquote ghost following Starscream around.
I
I'm
mostly
not
know
familiar with
Beasties.
Okay. Funny. Anyway,
Anyway. Alright, that's it for us here tonight. We'll probably be back next Thursday. Check the schedule to find out for sure.
Oh,
Oh,
probably not next Thursday. It is
Oh.
Halloween. And
Oh, right. That is on
It's
Thursday.
Halloween.
We will not.
Perfect
We will
time
not.
for a ghost, Ember.
Yeah, you're right. All right. Yeah,
But
you're right. It is
I-
Halloween next Thursday.
Yeah,
So.
so we'll probably the week after that.
Yeah, probably the week after that.
Oof.
Yeah, what a cliffhanger to end off on for a couple weeks. Well, so not next Thursday, but come back soon-ish to find out if we all survive, if the NPCs survive, who lives, who dies as we escape from Iron Root
Tells
and
their
into the
story.
woodlands.
Oof.
Yeah.
Will
Okay,
be
see
Thanks
the
for
surface.
playing. Thanks for watching.
Yeah.
Make sure to check out Amasha and Hambone. Their channels are linked in the video description, or at least they should be, but it doesn't actually.
They're on the title, so
They're in
yes.
the title. They're in the title. So make sure you check them out, and we'll see all of you next time. Oh, I guess. Oh yeah, and we're streaming Final Fantasy tomorrow. Nova and I. Yeah, that's that.
By the way.
All right. Yeah, by the way, that not as important, but still mention
Anything
that.
you guys want to plug before we head out?
Oh yes, good call.
Come back and watch us hopefully survive.
Yeah. Sounds like we're gonna have a Metal Gear battle. At least I want that to be. Yeah, I'll just if you'd like to know when I go live, be sure to follow me on Blue Sky and Tumblr at Radio Bonaire. Who knows? Might have a stream tomorrow. Not sure.
Ooh.
Maybe. Who knows?
Who knows?
Find out tomorrow.
Yes, it's great amount of fun. Thank you so much for DMing Mordio.
Yeah, no problem. No problem. I always enjoy it. If I had infinite money, all I would do is run tabletop. That's not true. But a lot of what I would do is run tabletop RPG. A lot of what I would do. Not all of it, but most of it, or a good chunk of it. You know.
Makes sense.
All right. Well, thanks again, everyone.